Tuesday night, going up on a Tuesday. Dynasty Daddy Trade Show. Jeremy, how have you been?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. I've had, work gets you down. There's a bunch of stuff going on, and then you're like, oh, at least Tuesday night I can talk about fantasy football in July. That will make things better. So
True.
I'm excited to get into it.
I feel bad. I feel like every time I do the how you doing, Jeremy, it's usually okay, not great, but the show will save me. But maybe when football season's approaching here, we'll get some feeling goods during football season.
I feel like too, like it's like Tuesday, and like usually
True.
Tuesdays are like the days where you're like, oh crap, like it's not even Wednesday yet. So I think just morale is usually on the lower end of the vibe. But then, once you get to Thursday or so, then it's like, okay, I can do this. I can finish out the week.
I feel yeah. Well, I'll hit the intro and we'll get together here and we'll save your Tuesday. What is up? Big Diaz stepchildren unite. I don't know if that's the official Dynasty Daddy
Stepchildren.
fandom name, but we'll claim it for the time being. Let's go Birds builds and GEGP, and yeah, let's go. I see one up here. What's up, Jacob? Offered Jalen Warren, Jalen Waddle, Trey Harris, a 26 first and a 27 third for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Context is that I'm extremely deep, and this guy is in a complete rebuild. Too much mediocre in offer or decent. So I like these, and I appreciate these like offer checks of like, is this a reasonable offer for me to send out? Because I don't think it's discussed enough of the sentiment and feeling around how your league mates will approach you based off of how you handle trade negotiations. So I can vibe with the how do we feel about this offer. So is this a reasonable
You can
without knowing the
always
starters?
you always want to lowball it enough to where you're not like sending over an smash where it's just no comment, just smash accept. You're like, wait a minute, like did I leave some meat on the bone here? But you also don't want to send an offer that's like, no, I'm not giving you Lamar for Jalen Warren. So you got to find that slightly like some wiggle room type of deal. I mean, and to look at this, I mean, I don't know what the format from how deep it is, like how valuable a player like Trey Harris would look like. But I mean, I think it's probably a fair value, especially depending how depleted that team is. And it really, I think the whole offer depends on how valuable they see that 26th first and Waddle, right? Like if you can say, hey, Waddle in the first, and then you add in some other pieces, sure. It all comes down to like they might just be like, dude, I'm not riding the Waddle train as a rebuilder, and then you might be stuck there being like, okay, I need to figure out a different way to pivot.
Yeah, I think Waddle and Harris are interesting enough when tacked to a first that this isn't a like laughable decline. Like get out of my inbox with this bull. So yeah, I think that's a reasonable send.
It's not insulting. You're not going to make an enemy. You're not going to be scrolling on whatever social media and then see, look at this trade this guy sent me. Like you're safe in that regard.
Yeah.
I definitely like. I mean, unless if it's like super deep, I will just say I definitely like the Amon-Ra St. Brown side. If we're gonna pick a side of the trade, like obviously just getting a superstar, especially coming from a roster where you're like, I have a bunch of kind of good pieces where it's like I just can't cut all these guys, but also I can't really use them all. So being able to consolidate is probably a good move.
Yeah, and as a rebuilder, this wouldn't be the type of move I would want to do to split up my Amon-Ra if I felt like I was at the point where I needed to do something like that. But I will say that some managers might think that this is what you should do. They kind of get the feel of like young enough assets. One of them's a rookie. I'll just take the first. But yeah, so
I will say, I will not to keep dragging this thing on, but I will say too, like there is a benefit. There is a benefit of just not having to do the work, right? Even if you have an elite player like Amon-Ra, like it still takes a lot of work messaging a bunch of people, finding people that are willing to make and pay that elite price. And you're sitting here and being like, okay, I don't, if you're an Amon-Ra owner and you're like, I want to move them, you're getting 2 young wide receivers and a first round pick right there, and you don't have to put any work in.
Yeah, like that. We got another one here. Jake, Lamar, Achan, Caleb, Diggs, Najee, Gesicki. traded for 4 firsts, 3 seconds, a third, and fourth, all 2026. 12 team start 11. Sorry if it's too weird. LMAO. Ooh, Lamar, Achan, Caleb. 4 firsts. Oof. 12 team start 11.
Just like a pure liquidate everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
Man.
guess it comes down. Okay, what's Caleb worth, right? Would you say Caleb's worth 2 seconds? Would you say he's worth a late first? Like you're gonna bump him up to first tier?
Yeah, I mean for the sake of the trade, like, well, we can cut out like the 3 seconds. I feel like you could do 2 seconds,
Then-
or you could talk into like a first being something for Caleb that went kind of late first. But if we want to do it that way, and you're getting close to, like, you could do Caleb, Najee, Gesicki for like 3 seconds and a third or something, and I wouldn't think that was like the worst trade in the world.
Yeah. And I imagine, like, honestly, like a second, a third, and a fourth is probably Diggs, Najee, Gesicki.
Right.
Like, if you just look at the big parts of the deal, it's Lamar, Achane for 4 firsts.
All 2026 makes it interesting. The immediate.
I mean, that's gonna be
it is hard to do that.
A quick turnaround. It's going to be a quick turnaround, and I assume some of those are potentially like at least a mid. Like you're not going to end up with like the 109, 110, 111, 112. You're probably going to have probably 2 lates or something like that. I mean, I think this goes back to I'm typically not a big fan of splitting or like trading away elite assets together. Like, I feel like you could probably trade Lamar and get an extra 20% and A-Chain separately and get that extra 20%. That being said, I mean, you are walking away with a third of the first round in the next year's draft. And in a 12-team start 11, you're going to be able, it's not like you're going to be, lost off the coast of the Jersey Shore with no rum ham. Like, you still got some ammo to fire off. But it's to me, it's just always hard to move off of Lamar. Like, it's hard. It's being like Lamar plus a good player. I probably have to see the rest of your roster for me to be like, okay, like you had too many good quarterbacks and you're just trying to get a haul in a deeper league. Like, you just needed a ton. Like, you were going to be really bad anyway, so like just get the best deal you can. I think I could honestly, like, this is one I could go either way. Like, it's kind of dependent on the roster.
Yeah, it is tough. I do, and maybe it's just to make me feel better about breaking down the trade from somebody that sent a beautiful chat message and is supporting the Dynasty Daddy stream on a Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. But it is so hard. I think Lamar carries that 3 firsts for me. Like, someone that you just assume is going to be in the top half of startups for the next couple of seasons. And then not even to mention Achan, young elite running back. It is tough, and I agree with you with the 2 elite assets in a move. So I would really want to see the roster, but yeah, man, Lamar, Achan, Caleb, like
you probably took a little bit of a haircut in terms of like you probably lost like 15 to 20% of the value. I would say that you probably could have gone because you also added Caleb in there, which is, I mean, we were being generous and saying, well, 2 seconds, but realistically, you're probably going to need a late first to get Caleb.
And I also feel like, and there's different ways to approach roster building. 100% some elite assets. Every elite asset has a price 100%. But I almost feel like Lamar, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, like these are the promised land. Like, I want to be able to move my first to acquire these assets, and then that's my quarterback. Like elite production, quarterback position, longevity. So I would really be curious about the rest of the roster. If you want to give us a little breakdown of the roster and the inspiration, I will definitely come back to this one, Jake, and give you a better answer than just me like Lamar. Next up here, Lampy. This is a 10-man Superflex Dynasty. Gave up the 25, 108, 301, and Chase Brown to get back Kamara, Monty, and the 110. In terms of moving down in the first round, I need a tight end. Concerned I don't get Loveland or Warren. Thoughts? So I'm curious about the worried about not getting the tight end if it is some tight end premium and then moving down. But
I
I
think
think
he just posted his roster.
okay. So I'm gonna get we'll do the roster and then we'll come back to it. Running back K9 Gibbs, Chase Brown, Tajay, Jalen Hurts, Goff. Wide receivers AJ Brown, Puka, Ladd, Rome. Tight ends are Jonnu and Jake Ferguson. Need a better tight end. Finished third this year. I'd be curious. Let me know, Lampy, what the tight end premium is looking like.
Yeah, to me, I'm just it's hard for me to pull a trigger on a first round tight end prospect that isn't named Brock Bowers. Like I did draft Brock Bowers last year, but like I mean everyone was talking about him being generational for so long and he dominated. And I think, like a Loveland and Warren certainly have upside, but it's obviously not like Brock Bowers upside. That being said, I like the deal in general. I think if you finish third, your team's obviously more in a win now mode. Kamara, Montgomery, kind of diversify in a way production at the running back positions. If Chase Brown gets injured, well, the likelihood that Kamara and both Montgomery gets injured is definitely lower than just Chase Brown getting injured. And they're probably going to produce pretty well. And you only move back 2 spots in the draft. So I don't hate that pick. I would just be like, maybe I don't take a tight end. Like I could probably, trade a second for Mark Andrews or something, patch together a different thing and say, hey, let me use my first round pick on a player that probably matters more from a WAR perspective in my format than a tight end. That being said, if your league is super juice tight end scoring or something like that, then that certainly changes the narrative. But in a standard league, I'd be like, maybe I could get a Harvey or something like that.
Yeah, 0.3, and I know
that's interesting.
This is not that is interesting. I know we're doing 0.75 for the daddy leagues. That is like as weird as I get for like odd percentage or decimal points for
0.3 is interesting. I was like, is this a half PPR league or something?
But for me, and I know this isn't I think like you're looking at your team on Dynasty Daddy, you've got the power rankings up and you see that tight end low because what do you have, Jonnu and Jake Ferguson. But in underdog drafts, like obviously upside with rookies higher, you have Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren kind of around that 10 through 12 spot, but like Jake Ferguson is not super far behind, and that's a 1 year projection. I get that from a rookie standpoint. But in a dynasty league, but 0.3 points per reception, like if you use some of the Dynasty Daddy war tools, and not necessarily specific players, but just like ranges of expectations for tight end scoring compared to other positions, I understand wanting to attack where you feel like you are weakest, but I think I would rather just do different moves with the 108 to upgrade other positions, like, quarterback, or, maybe you tier up Rome or something versus trading back to lock in on one of these tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, I would be like, there's probably going to be like a Harvey or Caleb or like I can just sell a young running back, take back 2 young producing older running backs, and then just draft another young upside running back. Or if Egbuka or something like that falls, and sure, I'll take a dart throw on that and then have flexibility with some of the other guys, like maybe a Rome or something like that.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. I think, especially if your league is active enough where you feel like you can move cross-positionally with players, I think like you should be able to, in a 0.3 tight end premium, be able to move cross-positionally to get a tight end if you really felt the need to like make a purchase and pay up for somebody. And I think that's something that people tend to lock themselves into in rookie drafts, is they're focused on a position when really you should just be focused on like not necessarily just value overall that you can move later, but what it does for your team. So like you hit one of those running backs like in RJ Harvey, or you take Ibuka or something, and now you're able to move Rome. You're able to move Chase Brown or Kenneth Walker versus locking yourself into the tight end pick. Good evening. What's up, Michael? Chris here traded Knicks for Love and a 26 first. Now the QB room is Hurts, Herbert, Love. I mean, banger trade.
Easy. Yeah.
Just
Easy.
Straight up. And also it being the QB3 is like double banger. Like I would trade Love for Geno in a first. Like let's keep going. Let's let's stack these first on top of each
You
other.
should probably. I feel like you should do like a Herbert or something, because like
Yeah.
at this point, I feel like Herbert would be like with Knicks. You're probably starting Knicks over Herbert with rushing upside and such. I don't know. That's more debatable, but like it's kind of a toss up.
Yeah.
But like you can definitely get a haul. Like some people might not give you the same price for Love, but you could definitely get a haul for Herbert.
Yeah. Should I be concerned that Jeremy is not okay? And I do see not the maiden name coming out. I'm back. Yeah, no, as long as the Wednesday through Mondays are okay, and it's just the Tuesday hits Jeremy hard, but he has the live stream to look forward to. We're okay, but we can touch base.
It keeps my spirits high.
We'll do some check-ins, and once the season started, I'm sure.
I didn't mean to make everyone concerned.
No, guys, everyone, let's take some time and just make sure Jeremy's doing all right before we answer any more questions. Yo, what's up, Zeno? Keith, this one is easy. I read this one in all caps. Not that everyone should do that, but it did draw my attention. I have a question. Should I trade Rashad White for J.K. Dobbins in a third? I'm a big Broncos fan, but I am unsure. I mean, I'm doing this for all the running backs in that range. Anytime I can tack on any kind of pick, like second, third, even fourth in a lot of situations. And I don't know, would you rather have J.K. Dobbins than Rashad White? I probably, all things equal, would slightly rather have Rashad White, but would not surprise me at all if for this season specifically, J.K. Dobbins outscores Rashad White. And on top of that, like, yeah, I would probably bet on Rashad White to be a meaningful running back in the league for longer than J.K. Dobbins, just based off of this being the last year for Rashad White. And it sounds like he's fine with leaving Tampa. But yeah, no, I think this is a easy trade. I'm doing that with all running backs in that range.
Yeah, I mean, it's players within the same range. It's a free third, and it's like, okay, you just what RB2 do you want? Is basically what the question is.
Yeah, you
probably
can't even get a third for Rashad White in a lot of leagues. So
yeah, no, I mean he's going for a third straight up. So the fact that you get a third plus,
yeah,
and you're a Broncos fan, so it's like cool. You also get the homer pick too. Like, go for it.
I'll check percentages when there's a break, when Jeremy's yapping and I'm full screen on him. But I would not surprise me at all if J.K. Dobbins is my most drafted running back on Underdog right now. I have been hitting him a lot in the 110s, mostly because Will really needs running back.
You never know.
Because it goes.
There's that one report that everyone's like, oh, RJ Harvey not going to be the starter.
The Jaleel report.
Yeah, Jaleel.
The most trusted running back.
You still like Jaleel.
Yeah, what up, Kyle? Puka or Rashee and Igbuka, 14/9, 0.5 PPR. Ooh, that is interesting. Man.
That is interesting.
Oh, this is tough. These are like three of Will's favorite buys in Dynasty at some point this offseason.
I just got to go with Puka, to be honest. Like, I still like
trying to do the math.
I think with Rashee, you squint and say, okay, he had 4 good weeks, and he's also going to miss like 3 to 4 games, probably, this year. And then Igbuka is a unguaranteed player, but still has the long-term upside of, okay, he probably will produce sometime. So to me, it's like, okay, the only time I potentially do this is like if I'm like such a desperate rebuild and need players. But if I'm only starting 9 players and I can get a Puka that's just like a locked in smash 20 points per game, and I just don't have to worry about him ever, I probably lean that way, because that's just going to be so much harder to find. Even though it's a 14-team league, it's not super deep. Just give me the superstar, and I can play the value game elsewhere.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same. I think I'm going Puka, and I love Puka, and I love Rashee. But
it's like the tier right below is like, like if you got probably like Drake London, any of those players, I'd absolutely take this deal. But it's once you get to like the Puka, like upper echelon players, where it's like, oh, when they are playing, they're, top 4. I mean, Puka was like wide receiver 4 until he got injured. Yeah. And so to me, it's hard to just give up that security.
All right, Christopher here. I'm trying to get Amari in Hampton, and I'm willing to do a lot for him. Oh, anything?
Oh, okay.
Anything. My RBs are Genty, Ford Dowdle. Okay, I gotcha. offered. I like etc. There's like sometimes people will say cans or like NERB, whatever. The etc. is
Yeah,
funny.
just like
That's the second part.
etc.
And Dowdle.
Well,
was
you
the
know it's bad
mention.
when the RB2's forward in Dowdle.
Yeah. I offered Odunze, Corum, 2 seconds and a third. I think that's pretty fair.
That's a good offer. I mean,
Yeah.
it really comes down to like how do they like Rome?
Yeah.
But I mean, Rome 2 seconds, and then you toss in Quorum and a third. Like, I mean, that's a little bit of like, oh, like, scraping the plate into the compost of like just
Yeah.
whatever else is there. But still, Rome in 2 seconds is certainly um, an offer that I could see someone accepting. It really comes down to how high they see Rome. Some people are like, I don't want to deal with a wide receiver that isn't guaranteed to produce or might be but like some people might not want to deal with that, but some people also will be like, "Oh, there's value here," and then I get 2 seconds, and I can go buy another running back that produces similarly to Hampton year one potentially, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get in trade talks if this isn't accepted some sort of counter. Like if I was on the other side of this, I would be like, let me get a more interesting player than Corum. But yeah, I think it's reasonable. All right, Michael here. I want to trade away London, Judy, ETN, Kincaid, and a 26 first for McBride and BTJ and Caleb Johnson. Don't we all? Start 3 wide receivers, Superflex PPR, Neighbors, JMO, Pickens, Debo, Genty, Judkins, or Jailkins, Samson. Ooh,
I mean,
London in a first for BTJ and Caleb, and then you're trying to do Judy, ETN, and Kincaid for McBride.
Yeah, because like the first and Caleb kind of cancel out, and then it's like, well, you probably need a toss-in on top of BTJ, and then it's like, I mean, I would definitely take the consolidated superstar side.
Yeah.
If that's a deal that's out there, I think realistically you're probably gonna have to toss in a little bit more. Whether that's an upgrade from like Judy or something like a second, like an early second-ish in value before I could be like, okay. Because if you really do cancel it out, it's like London, BTJ.
Would you do
probably
Pickens?
like an early second away?
Would you do Pickens instead of Judy? So London, Pickens.
I mean, I would definitely do
first?
Pickens instead of Judy if that gets it done.
I think that's at least a more interesting offer. Because I think Judy.
People are out on Judy as like a dynasty player,
and I think it's fair too. A lot of it is, I mean, one, the Browns are it's just hard to believe that is a productive offense this season, and I think a lot of people will point to Judy last season, a lot of that production coming with Jameis, and the Browns being extremely high pass rate. So I get it being out on Judy just based off of the expectations from last season. But yeah, I think Pickens, I think that would be way more likely to get the job done if you're willing to. Yeah, Ray Rue with the breakdown.
Like
here.
I think Pickens is definitely, and Pickens also is like a good time to sell, because a lot of people saw that highlight from training camp where he caught the ball and was running to the touchdown. Everyone's like, that was so good, and then the ball got punched out. But hopefully they scrolled past it before they saw the end of the play. But
I thought you were talking about good in camp. I thought you were talking about the Brandon Cooks one. You see that one? It was like ESPN, some show was airing like a Brandon Cooks reception from last season, and like George Pickens looking good in camp.
No, I didn't see that one.
Well, Will's not ready to fully complete this take, but a lot of young athletes, man, the YouTube channels of like off-season training programs and everything. I think we are entering the information overage in terms of like everything we're going to be able to see, and I'm sure it'll only get worse with reports and AI breakdowns. And all right, I think I just need to stop myself. Here we go. Jeremy
spiraling.
Like
we'll reel him back in.
He would make a tasty reply. Type 1 in the chat if you agree. Got a 1 in there, and I think that was even before I asked the chat to be nice to you because you weren't feeling great this Tuesday. So that's just a natural. All right, do we like any of these deep sleeper rookies? Shrepo, Mafa, Damian Martinez. It's hard. just based off of draft capital and its current situation for all these players. I will say I have picked up Mafa, and not even necessarily related to the Jaden Blue kind of non-report that was. It was like an old staff that had.
He's
not been
unmotivated or something. He's lazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I'm just when I get into this range, I just pick a running back, to be honest. And I know Martinez is buried, but I'm also like, I mean, all he has to do is, maybe get us a little glimpse of hope, like week 10, for me to care.
Yeah, I would definitely lean running backs. It's just we've talked about it all the time as far as hit rates go. When you get into, like post third, fourth round for receivers, like there are the Pukas and the Amonras of the world, but those are few and far in between versus the running back hits that you get. Just naturally with the position, a lot of it is a little bit more opportunity based, versus talent. Okay, this is the trying to get Amari and Hampton deal current starting lineup. So we were talking about potentially a better offer with Corum to get that deal done. It was Odunze and all those seconds, and Odunze 2 seconds, Corum, and a third trying to get Hampton. So this would be Allen, Genty, Ford, London, Smith and Jigba, Worthy, McBride, Pearsall in the flex. I was about to say it, and I see the comment here. I feel like I'd be willing to trade Odunze and Pearsall plus those seconds. And yeah, I think that's totally reasonable, fair offer, and definitely better than Corum. I feel like Corum just feels like a zero in trades, even if it's not true. Running back on a roster should be a zero.
All the Ram hype is now on it's now all Hunter. On Hunter. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's when it starts getting a little steep, but I think it's still a conversation. It's like the Puka for Rashee and Egbuka, just a tier down, where it's like, okay, well, I'm giving up Odunze and Pearsall in a second, but you're also not starting a ton of players. So to me, consolidate. I don't want to be sitting here being like, who do I start? Pearsall, Worthy, Odunze. Like, let me just get a guy that I can lock in, and now I fill out the flex spots with whoever. Yeah, but yeah, I if Hampton's available, rookies are hard to get right now. Everyone just picked them. They're like, it's like that one meme of like the kid in the swimming pool and then the kid next to him drowning. It's like all the year 2 guys are drowning, and then you got Hampton. Like, it's going to be hard to peel rookies off of players or off of managers,
especially when the news has like been all good. Like the Najee stuff, like Hampton has practiced more for the Chargers than the incumbent Najee that was signed before the draft, right? And that Najee stuff is weird. I mean, I have not heard or seen anything specific other than like the just initial like report of what had happened. It's just really weird in those situations. Like, obviously, whatever medical stuff can be weird to share, like with teams, especially stuff that's like not like shoulder injury or something, like something that's like
something that like stuff. Didn't happen around team staff. It's like on vacation.
Yeah, but it is weird that we haven't seen anything that's like. I think Harbaugh said like something about like some hopes and prayers, which honestly I wouldn't read too much into because that just seems like a Harbaugh thing to like talk about that with players' injuries. But it's weird. It is very weird that we haven't seen anything specific with that.
I was like diving deep into like a Reddit thread, and I remember of course there was like, well, this one guy called it like this one guy broke the Najee story, and everyone's like, it's like, no, he didn't. Like, all he said was a firework hit him, but he said he lost like a hand or something. And it's like, so yeah, I mean, I would like to know, like, obviously he didn't lose a hand, but it's also like it's like an eye injury of some kind or something like that. So I mean, I hope he gets better. Fireworks are dangerous. I will watch them. I'm not going to light them.
Agreed. And then I see this note really here. Quick, I wanted to shout this out. Speaking of rookies, we all see my live stream asked regarding fab and rookies to pick up. Yes, Kyle. And I think we're gonna do some lightning speed, and then we're gonna go through some of the live stream ask questions. So
live stream ask was popping off today.
It was popping. And if you guys aren't in the Discord, link in the description. And also, if you want to, while you're in there, sign up to join a Dynasty Daddy League in the Join a Daddy League channel in the main area. $20, 12 by 10, Superflex, 0.75 Ti in premium. I'm making a little Google Drive. I haven't shared it with Jeremy yet, but a little Google Sheet with some ideas for like featuring, the draft boards, making specific channels for the leagues so that everything is there from like the initial draft board to trades that happen in that league that people can look at so that we can reference on the stream. Should be a good time. Quick Google form to fill out if you are interested. And then while I'm over here, Thursday night, Underdog, Best Ball Draft, Dynasty, Q&A stream. I'll be chilling. 9 p.m. Eastern
Up to
time.
number 6. Up to
number 6. Yeah, we got the Baker. Got the Baker on that one. We're up to episode 6.
I remember when you're like, the jersey numbers. I'm just counting up the jersey numbers.
I appreciate that. Remember
we'll have to see.
Best Ball lore.
It'll be good when it's just a bunch of offensive linemen. Right.
Well, I was thinking about I do 2 players, and I kind of put the jersey numbers together.
Yeah.
It'll be
player plus this player.
For sure. All right. We got some Pickens comment. Is the Pickens hype really out of hand? Pickens is the kind of player that the hype can get out of hands, but I will say I'm kind of specific for this season. I am kind of excited for like the situation. If you just look at pass rate stuff, situation Pickens has been, quarterback play for the past couple seasons. Like, it's hard to not have some excitement about it. But yeah, I think Pickens is that kind of, if people are pushing up and I'm able to, like we just talked about in this last deal, I know Michael said, down with trading Pickens to get McBride in that deal to also upgrade to BTJ as well. I think Pickens is the kind of guy that kind of carries that weight where you can get those deals done. He feels like he could jump into a tier above where I'm fine selling him for that price.
To me, it's like, it's like that one meme of like the HR rep and it's like the hot person and it's like, oh, well, like they're hot. So it's like, that's George Pickens. And then it's like the ugly person that's like HR. That's like Keon Coleman. It's like, they're not high target players. They'll make spectacular catches, but he's not going to have the volume that consistently puts up elite numbers, most likely. And to me, it's like you're also next to CeeDee Lamb. You also know Dak loves his tight ends, so they're going to get some usage. I do expect that offense to do a lot, but to me, it was very much just like, hey, when comparing to Judy, it's like you're probably going to score similarly, in my opinion. But Pickens, you're going to actually get people that want to buy Pickens. And so it's like, okay, like if that is what moves the needles for like a Hampton or something like that, then I'm going to go for that. I don't think Pickens is like terribly overhyped right now. We've seen it more. It's like, when he makes that crazy catch week 2 and everyone's like, oh, the sample size is so small. Like he's amazing. He made that catch. That's when it gets crazy. But in general, I think he's kind of properly valued because he's kind of just a slightly better Keon Coleman in terms of like he gets more targets, but has to make those contested spectacular catches to win.
Yeah, and a lot of it is I'll say real quick before going through the lightning mode. A lot of it is like the sentiment with a player, right? So like when Pickens, the move happens to the Cowboys, it is like I can move Pickens for the Pickens prices because people are in their mind are the upside of the next tier and, he could re-sign there long-term or now he could just choose his destination. He's not held back by Pittsburgh anymore. And I'm not even saying that those things aren't true, but it's what's on people's minds to be willing to buy a George Pickens where I couldn't move him for anything, just 3 weeks before the trade. I detest the Keon as non-hot HR abuser. I will say it's tough because he's a rookie, right? So a lot of that stuff is kind of, or was a rookie. So it's kind of hard to kind of lump people.
But it's just like the sentiment, right?
Right.
Like even if Keon's ripping off stuff, like it's not the same. Like Pickens can do what Keon does, and it's Pickens. So everyone's like, hold up. It's just kind of the Keon experience.
Man, FFT. Jude's charity mock draft was in the 8 spot and took Barkley there. Let's go. I will say, like, I'm excited for startup season in these daddy leagues, but there's just like a weird, sick excitement I have for my home league redraft leagues that I'm getting the updated emails, like the Yahoo league has been renewed. Like that does get me a little excited, I will say.
And I have to open up the ESPN UI and I'm like, what in the world is going on here?
Yeah. Thank the Lord that we have Sleeper and we don't have some like dinosaur weird breakdown UI for how we have to manage our rosters.
I need sleeper. I need sleeper to be a little bit more reliable this year. I will say. There's a lot of times I was like setting lineups and the whole app would crash. I'm like, you keep putting all this daily pick'ems and stuff in here.
Mhm.
That's my old man rant. I'm like, stick to fantasy.
This one was going back to Lampies, and this was the trade back tight end stuff in the rookie draft. But one aspect of that trade was trading Chase Brown for David Montgomery and Kamara. Are you generally like the trade for those two guys versus Chase Brown's upside? I think I'm ready to make that trade. For me, I think it's fair, but it is kind of difficult when you're moving someone like Chase Brown. Obviously, you just got the positive report of, Chase Brown featured role for this season, which, like, okay, whatever. Like, every coach is going to say a positive thing about the running back that is, the incumbent starter. But yeah, Kamara and Montgomery specifically are tough because Kamara does kind of feel like a two-year bet. And then I am excited about Dave Montgomery for the season, but I will say there's not much upside for Monty to move from where he's at currently, and I think there is a lot of downside for him to fall in terms of if the 55-45 split is 65-35. Coming off the injury, obviously I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the best running back in the NFL. Might be a little biased, but and then obviously the coordinator stuff, the Lions run rate last season being very high, and just a shift in coordinators and what that does for a David Montgomery, who I think saw more targets than people would anticipate when, you got Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield. But yeah, I guess just naturally, how do you feel about Kamara and Montgomery versus Chase Brown? Just in a vacuum.
Chase Brown's like one of the hard players. Like, to me, he kind of gives me like Kyron vibes in a sense of like, we're like, oh wow, he finished the year off strong. But then it's like, oh, okay, like, is this for real? Like, are they just gonna ride it back with Chase Brown and have this crazy upside that he had towards the end of last year? That's the hard part. I mean, that being said, I don't think it's terrible value though. If I'm like, okay, I want to be bearish on Chase Brown, because I move back 2 spots, pick up 2 running backs that are certainly flexible, and then I still get a draft pick. So to me, it's just like, how committed am I on Chase Brown as like someone that's going to consistently take that next step or not going to be replaced?
Yeah, the tough thing is I don't think you necessarily need to do that split if you want to do a different trade and not trade back down to make that split happen, because he has Kenneth Walker, Gibbs, Chase Brown, Tajay Spears. Like, I think K9, Gibbs, Chase Brown, I am like so happy with that running back room. Like, I don't know if Will has a running back room that is that good across all of my leagues. Chase Brown feels like such a flash in the pan that I would personally move him for anything I can. I would want to put this to the test. You don't want to. I don't want to be a game log checker.
Anything you can, Jaden Blue.
But I will say, and I think there's some fair stuff, because there's a lot of stuff with Chase Brown last season and just running efficiency. But I will say, I don't know for how great the Bengals passing offense is, with like Burrow not really wanting to play much under center. I think it's kind of a weird offensive situation for a back like Chase Brown. And I think regardless of how you feel about him as a talent, it's hard for me to believe that they won't want to use him in a similar role he had last season, even if it's at a 70% of that role. And I still think that is, much better than Montgomery upside.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard with like a Kamara. It's like, how many more years of Kamara being good are you going to get? And like you said, with the running back room, you can kind of take the risk of the Chase Brown upside. And if you're like week 2 comes in and it's like, oh my gosh, like it's a 50-50 split with Brooks and P. Ryan or something, then you can be like, okay, let me just bail for whatever.
Yeah, at what point does draft capital stop mattering for these low draft capital running backs, though? It feels like every year we threaten the bottom for any day 3 starters. Yeah, I mean, this will be an interesting case study for it. For a couple running backs, I mean, Chase Brown, obviously, but not that the situation is tough. Kyron Williams, I feel like, is kind of the buzz, but I think it's more likely that Kyron gets extended than loses a significant role to Hunter. But I totally see and understand a lot of the efficiency concerns with Kyron, and then obviously Tyrone Tracy and Escadabo. It'll be interesting. I think for me, the way I treat the running back position is like very year to year. So Chase Brown is a guy that I've gotten pretty cheap just in startups and in trades with people that kind of carry the sentiment I've seen a lot in the chat, where to me, I just am not banking on, and I see a comment on Zach Moss, I believe officially on the PUP, which I think was expected as well.
Oh, I think he got like the Chris Carson like neck injury of like he may retire type vibe. Like I remember hearing those reports.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I mean, I'm not. I mean, I think too, like Zach Moss came, like Chase Brown was a rookie, and Zach Moss was the vet that they signed. So of course they're going to lean on the vet more, and then have the rookie slowly eat away at his work.
Yeah.
To me, I do expect Chase Brown to still be relevant this year. It's just like how relevant, because towards the end of last year, it was just like we're just going to run this dude into the ground, and that's going to pay. That's perfect for fantasy because you don't even need to be efficient. Like that's one of those things with Kyron where it's like, okay, they just ran Kyron into the ground, but he didn't need to be efficient, but he's still going to score incredibly well. So it's one of those tough situations of like, okay, are they just going to drive him into the ground? Because for fantasy that helps, even if it's a couple years.
Yeah. Can we do one best ball daddy league? Call it stepdads. I can't do any more lineup at my limit, y'all. Let's roll out the red carpet for Big Diaz. Get him his own special league for the daddy club. We'll see.
The
we'll
Big
see,
Diaz league.
The Big Diaz league. We'll see. I will say that the way that my brain works, I get these like certain ways that I'm ready for things to be set up. I've got this like badges thing. I don't even know what that even is going to look like or work. I have to break that down, but it is a little reliant. Some of those badges
These
are
the
reliant.
will leagues.
These are the will leagues. They're a little reliant on it being the same format, but I digress. I don't really know.
I think we need
what I mean by that. But.
We need one weird setting, not too weird.
Okay,
but one weird setting where you're like, looking through.
Can we do the winner of the toilet bowl gets the like 213 or something?
We can do that.
I always like that. I just thought it was cute that you get to.
My home league is you get the 201. That's very
geez.
controversial. Yeah. That pick is actually very valuable. Maybe like instead of losing points on interceptions, you get like a point.
I will say, Will had a huge crash out. Shout out to my home league Dynasty. I have Josh Allen, and they changed. It was -1 interception when we did the startup. And the next year, after the full season went down, the commissioner was like, I meant to do -2. And I was like, I don't care what you meant to do. Like that, we're not changing the scoring. And then everyone was like, well, Will, you're being annoying. I was like, F you guys. I'm standing up for what's right. I lost. So maybe I was being annoying. We'll see. I'll follow up in the rookie draft. I'll do a break. I've calmed down now. That was a couple years ago.
Yeah, please join our league. You get some of the Will Will complaining about scoring settings.
At least when I'm complaining, it is what. Well, maybe it isn't good, but it's what I think is right. Okay. True. Josh doesn't throw picks anymore.
Right
also true, which made it more okay. But the integrity of that league is certainly compromised. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you. Here we go. Ooh, we got a middle of a startup. 12-team startup. No QBs. No QB1s left. I have Purdy and Mayfield. Was offered Tua. 26 first, 27 first for Purdy and Burden. Do I take it? You have Purdy and Mayfield. So he's probably saying like there's no QBs in the startup, and the person that just took Tua is not liking it. Ooh.
I'm taking that.
Yeah. I would rather trade away Mayfield, but and keep Purdy because I'm a big Purdy guy. But yeah, I'm doing that. Tua, I mean, and honestly, like
Tua's devalued just because his injuries.
Yeah,
it's not his play. Like
I do
Tua
think
would be in the same tier as Purdy and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I do think, and after this, we'll get into these live stream ask questions. I do think that there is a little Tua fear with, and I'm sure you've seen the rumblings as a fellow Redditor of, is this the Dolphins collapse year? Like they miss out on the playoffs, and it's 7-win season, and McDaniel's canned, and Tua's out of there.
It was Jonnu. Jonnu was carrying them.
Yeah. And Darren Waller on the pup. I'm surprised nobody mentioned it. Will's go on the
Will's
pod.
crashing out.
Come on.
That's the
Arm
scoring
links?
setting.
I just started Attack on Titan.
We'll have a Waller tight end premium.
All right, let me lock in here. Let's get this live stream ask here. We've got one from Garbo. I'll pull this up. Bang! Look at that. Oh, kept this up here. Don't worry about that. Garbo here. And don't worry, I've got the chat message. What up, Garbo? Straight out of a startup. I love the trades straight out of a startup. And this is actually okay. So this isn't a trade. This is just a direction of the team. So 12 by 11.
We should do like a scale, right? Like what's the scale we're gonna give this?
Well, right now he's a fraud. But
okay, well, yeah. You don't have to do our boy like that.
Yeah, my bad. But it does have Land Larison. All right, let's
That's true. Land Larison. That's a Dynasty Daddy stream sleeper.
True. I did make one Land Larison claim after that.
I do have him. He shows up in my portfolio.
We can all celebrate together when he makes the roster. Straight out of a startup.
We'll pop some champagne.
12 by 11. 0.5 tight end premium, 6-point pass touchdown. It's a league of mostly beginner dynasty players, so we didn't allow trading during the draft. That is a bummer, but I get it. I'm on the fence about which direction to take this team, leaning, selling, and wanted some input here. I will add that we tiered our league fees for year 1 through 3. Ooh, interesting. So it's 1x, 2x, 3x. Year 3 has the largest payout. And then I wonder if maybe the year 3... You think year 3 the payout is like the rest of the life of the league? Like they wanted to like kind of ease into it?
Yeah, so like it doesn't scare people away when the buy-in is like...
Right, I could see that. Like we'll do a $10, then we'll go 20, then we'll go 40 or whatever, or 30.
That's the pro tip right here is like whenever you're like a solid contender and you're like, hey, I think we should raise league dues this year. You're like, I'm obviously contending, so let's raise league dues. But yeah, it's good to have that all hammered out.
All right, so I will say the leaning towards selling point. We'll just go off of that first. If we were looking at this team and wanted to lean towards selling, I think as far as like assets that you would be able to move, like you have the wide receiver room, Puka Ladd, Jaden Reed, Michael Pittman, some cannies. You have Gibbs at running back. You have the 3 starting quarterbacks. One of them is Justin Fields that I would want to move for sure if I was leaning towards tanking or selling.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's definitely Justin Fields and Kittle, right? Like, I mean, those are if I'm not trying to compete this year, like, they probably don't have a window of 2-3 years. All the other players, I'm like, like they're kind of rebuild worthy type players. Yeah. I don't feel like I need to go out and sell Ladd or Puka. Like I can kind of live with those guys.
I know. It is, I will say it is kind of tough because, okay, and this is just, I mean, we're here to help you win your leagues, right? Like the easiest way, in my opinion, to take advantage of newer players, which Will does not do very often. If I'm in a league with new people, I in startups have gotten trade offers for startups.
Yeah, don't scare the new people away from our daddy leagues.
I'm a good guy. I have responded to trade offers in a startup with a new person and said that the league will be mad. This trade is so bad for you. Like, let me counter with a reasonable trade, and they've done that. And but I have, if I was at the point where I felt comfortable taking advantage of my league mates, I think like first round picks are the easiest way to do
that. Good guy
that.
award.
Now that we got that out of the way, now that everyone knows I'm a good guy, here's how to take advantage of your league mates. No, but I think first round picks.
You've never played with a more moral guy.
But first round picks are
it's ethical fantasy football.
The easiest way to like really take advantage, especially if you are kind of heading into that selling tanking route. But I will say it is kind of tough. Like, who do you think you could reasonably get first round picks for that you would want to? Like, obviously I would want to move Fields, but Fields might be tough.
I'd probably try to shop Fields, I think Gibbs, Kittle. Because like if I'm really trying to rebuild, wide receivers have a much longer shelf life, but Gibbs is probably not going to have a elite dynasty value wide receiver or running back shelf life for 2-3 years. Like he'll probably be like JT value by then, but if I can get a haul for Gibbs, then like, okay, cool. Can we do some kind of maybe not.
but I want to do some kind of like Gibbs, Fields, town foolery, trying to go after neighbors. It's hard with these like first round picks in startups, but you get this guy like Harvey, Gibbs, Goff, Fields. He's got another quarterback, Laporta. I feel like you could turn this guy into, he looks at his dynasty daddy breakdown, he sees a fraud, into him thinking he could contend. But would you be leaning more towards just fully liquidating for picks?
Honestly, like if I was him, I would probably look to move one of my quarterbacks.
Yeah.
To pick up value in a flex, like pick up either a future second of some kind or a first, or some sort of flexible player.
Yeah.
That can start in a flex position, and then maybe just give it a run. Because I have my future picks, I control my future. I have like all my valuable players are kind of players you want on a rebuild anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're set up not to rebuild. It's you just literally aren't number one in the rankings, but you're not a team where it's like, oh crap, you have a bunch of aging players, like you need to flip this thing quickly. The only players that you really probably would need to flip is like a Kittle and a Fields, because those are players that are very, very much redraft win now type players. But the rest is like Jaden Reed, you're selling low anyway. Like you got to hold Jaden Reed, Ladd and Puka are, like, I mean, they're younger than interns at my company, so like you can hold them. And like Gabe Scadaboo, Chardonnay, Garindo, like the other two aren't valuable, and then the top ones are super young and have the upside that people want. So
yeah,
to me, I'm not necessarily trying to sell it all. Now, if a Godfather offer comes by and someone's like, dude, give me Jimmy Gibbs, I will give you my arm. Okay, sure. Like, cool, I have 3 arms. But realistically, I'm not going to get a deal like that. And honestly, it's like I don't feel like I have to make that deal right now. I can kind of just see how the season plays out. It's also a new league, so you never know when people are just going to step in a bear trap and blow up their team for no reason. And then all of a sudden, the tide rises for all the teams that didn't step in a bear trap. So to me, it's like, I don't think you're in a bad situation at all. You have a lot of youth. You have at least 3 elite dynasty assets, potentially with Ladd, Puka, Gibbs. You have your quarterback situation answered. It's not super elite guys, but they're young upside guys with a Fields that's probably going to be a top 10 quarterback in fantasy. And then you have Kittle, who's going to be a top 3 tight end most likely. So it honestly could just tilt your way. And if you can just add in like a random James Conner or someone for cheap, just to round out the bottom of the roster, I'm not gonna. To me, it's like I'm very non-committal about Dynasty in a way. Like I want to compete.
Yeah.
Like I don't want, like if I'm doing a rebuild, I want to make the rebuild so obvious I can flip it around in a year. But if I'm rebuilding, I'm like, this team already has players I want on a rebuild. I don't want to trade away a player that I want to rebuild with. Like if I'm trading Puka, like who am I getting? Like another.
Right.
I hope I get another player that's Puka. It's not like I'm trading AJ Brown and trying to get someone like. If you have a Puka, if you have a Gibbs, like that's what you need to build a team around. So you already have your centerpieces. You just kind of have to slowly churn, try to make some smart deals, play the day trading game as the season goes on, because someone's gonna be like, oh, JJ McCarthy, sure, okay, cool, maybe you can absolutely fleece someone for JJ McCarthy. Now all of a sudden you're like, well, like now my team looks completely different because this dude gave me Amon-Ra St. Brown for JJ in a second. So
yeah.
You can come up with weird deals, especially during the season.
Yeah,
but I don't think Fields, this team's in a bad footing at all.
Yeah, I think Fields for sure would be that QB that if you're not able to like find some kind of move. I mean, like, so there's one team like this J-Rod, a guy. Obviously, my expectation is that Russell Wilson is going to start more games than people want to for the Giants. He just feels like that kind of bridge quarterback that can hold on to a job unless Jackson Dart absolutely destroys him in camp, which is very difficult for rookies to do with quarterbacks that have been starters in the league for years. So would not surprise me at all if week 1 comes and J-Rod's like, damn, I can't put anyone in my super flex that is a quarterback because it's Flacco and Dart that you might be able to make some kind of crazy deal with to trade away Fields for. But I think Fields in season for sure. But yeah, like you said, I think this team, if I was like, let me give it a run, I would try to find the cheapest way to have a running back that I feel decent about. Usually I'm fine with starting like Like I'm like, I'll just throw Charbonnet in there. Or like, whatever, I'll just throw in Jalen Wright. I'll throw in Dylan Sampson. But it is hard, I will say, when it's a 12 by 11 and it looks like you have to start, 3-4 of these running backs. Like that is difficult to have 3 or 4 or 2 to 3 of those running backs just be potential, 2 to 6 pointers. That is very hard to keep up.
Yeah, I mean, just go to this trust the process team and try to get Swift and Connor for like a second or something.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Like then all of a sudden you got your flex situation rounded out. You help them out, like, and now your team isn't starting backup running backs. And even if it doesn't go well for you, then you could just sell Swift and Connor for a second to another contender week 8, and you're like, well, like I maybe lost 5 positions in the draft, but it's not something that I'm going to lose sleep over.
Yeah, this is an interesting team. We need to get Dalium on the stream. I want to do a breakdown of the Dalium team.
We'll do the try box. We'll bring them in.
All right, sick. All right, let me throw it up here while I get this next one ready. I see. Yeah, it is easiest, Christopher, for like these ones to be posted in Discord. I know they said you just had to make an account. So welcome, everyone. Welcome, Christopher, to the Discord.
Man.
Type in the general chat. Welcome at Christopher or whatever your Discord username is. But we'll get you up here. But I'm gonna hit some of these other ones that we had queued up.
We got an in-person draft board.
I did see that. I was
That is crazy. That's awesome.
All right, this one is shout out to Birds.
Which one is it? Burbs?
I got it. YT Birds builds. We'll go back over here. This one here. All right. This is 10 by 10 Superflex PPR, and this startup just happened. Actually helped Bird make a pick in the Discord. So if you're on the Discord and you want Will to help you make a pick in your startup so that your team can be like my teams.
It's ethical dynasty happening in the Discord.
Yeah, I can live vicariously through your dynasty teams. We can celebrate the success together. All right, so this is a 10 by 10. Accidentally had horse blinders on and only drafted 3 wide receiver rooms. So this is interesting. So this is Jags, Chargers, Packers receiver room only. BTJ, Travis Hunter, Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnson, then Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs, Savion. The Savion Williams, that had to be a bit pick that you were just like, let me just round out this Packers receiver.
Not only I gotta mention it in the post, like he's not a practice squad guy for this team.
So just taking a look at this, we do have an offer that came through. Let me grab this. So we'll do a quick breakdown of this team post startup. So I did help with I'm gonna pull up the offer that was sent in.
I guess it's shallow, but I mean, honestly, 10 teams start 10. You still walk away with Jane Daniels, Brown Thomas Jr., and Ladd. I think that's a pretty impressive haul.
Yeah, I do like the team. All right, let me see.
Travis Hunter, the Hunter BTJ combo is interesting. There's probably no like players snap share I'm going to look at more than Travis Hunter week 1. Like it's going to be like everyone's going to be sleuthing through every single snap, like how many passing snaps, like all of that with Hunter. It's going to be very interesting.
And
you got Golden and Reed.
Yeah, and I mean, I checked back and it ended up being this was the offer was changed and updated to just, what would you do? Are you worried about this receiver room kind of feel? Would you be trying to make a move based off of this team? But I feel like the only move I would try to do is tearing down from one of these quarterbacks. I just am not a big fan of having like Purdy and T-Law when I have an elite quarterback.
I would get off Purdy.
Yeah, having 2 in those range. Yeah, I would.
It's gonna be hard to move in a 10 team though. Like most teams are gonna have quarterbacks.
Caleb,
like you're not gonna get much for him.
Stroud, Fields, Darnold. Yeah, that is true.
Like I
You have
think the
you have to
worst
find a
QB
specific
room
team.
is what Caleb Williams and JJ McCarthy, or like Michael Penix, Pat Mahomes, or
All right.
Mayfield and Love. And it's like none of them are going to be like, please give me Brock Purdy. Like,
Yeah. So the QB
it's
tier
gonna
down
get,
is
it's
going to
gonna
be
be
tough.
hard.
So I'll move off that because I do agree that is probably not as realistic. I'm not too concerned. So just in general, I understand wanting to make bets and having expectations of like wide receiver one feelings and, let me make the bet on, BTJ versus Travis Hunter. I want one or the other. Like I'm fine feeling confident in like elite receivers commanding elite target shares, but
it is just funny, man. Like this, I think this team is good, but it's you just look at it and you're like, oh, he just drafted Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. And they're like, oh, actually no, he did. He also drafted Mark Andrews and Isaiah. Like, well, that's all right. You can manage that. And then you look down at all his flex options, and it's Golden, Reed, and Dobbs. And I'm like, okay, like it really is like 3 teams. Basically, like, I mean, the thing is, like, they drafted they paid a lot for Hunter, and Brian Thomas Jr. is a stud. So I feel fine starting both of them. Then Lad McConkey's fine. I guess I didn't even think about Lad and QJ. But I mean, QJ doesn't really count. I think you're fine in terms of like I wouldn't be panicking about this. And also, like, we still have time. To me, I'd be like, okay, like if one of these players, like Matthew Golden, has a good week, cool. Like, do I sell him? Do I like? I'd be like trying to diversify midseason when there's actually some movements in the market, and I can maybe get more value for Travis Hunter or Isaiah Likely or something like that. Like, try to diversify a little bit, but there's no need to there's no need to panic. It's a shallow league. You just start your studs and figure out, Travis Hunter hits. You're like, cool, I don't really care. It's BTJ and Travis Hunter and Trevor Lawrence. They're going to be the biggest Jags fan out there.
Yeah. And too. And I think, the moves that you would potentially want to make just based off how this roster is set up for, competing for this next season are like moves I'd not necessarily need to do, like you said, right now, leading into the season. Like maybe a couple weeks in, you can reevaluate based off of, player values. But yeah, I'm on board with Jeremy. I think this team is very good. I'm down.
And I will say, this is definitely why I mentioned to Big Diaz's point, why you probably want to try to trade Purdy. The market's not going to be great, but still, like the T-Law, BTJ, Hunter stack, you were just going, you're going all in on Duval. Like you better order a jersey because you got that whole offense.
And it's Liam Cohen too. I think there's a lot of merit to Liam Cohen saving the Jags. So yeah, I'm totally fine with sticking.
I think looking at this team, I figured there was a value for the Hunter BTJ stack. That's hard to get in general, but I wouldn't be panicking yet. We still have time, and all those players have value. It's not like you're stuck with a bunch of players that don't have value.
Okay, I do have the trade offer. This is hot off the press. I think I had saved it. Maybe when you edited the post, I lost it. Because Will usually doesn't mess up these things. So that had to be it. So here we go. Here is the offer. And it is a juicy one. And you're moving T-Law. Caleb Johnson.
Hunter.
Yeah.
You're giving up the stack.
You are getting neighbors. Caleb Johnson and Ibuka. You're trading away Travis Hunter, Ladd, Kenneth Walker, and T-Law. Ooh, this is a juicy one.
Okay, my initial thought is no.
Okay, I'm listening.
But I could be convinced. Like I think T-Law, like, unfortunately, to me, T-Law isn't a player that has a ton of value in this type of format. But I do like the stack. So you're breaking up your BTJ T-Law stack. Hunter's kind of this wild card. So he could be kind of like a nothing burger in a shallow league. Could also be like a very desirable player. What's the difference between Ladd McConkey and Neighbors? To me, I'm like, I don't know if I want to downgrade, or I don't know if I want to pay Hunter on top of Neighbors. I don't know. But yeah, I guess you got Ibuka. Like, oh man, I don't know.
It's tough in these. I will say in these,
it's tough.
10 by 10. a lot of times we're
I
so
feel like I'm
quick to
talking
just.
myself into it.
I know it's tough because I do agree that I was about to say I do agree. It was the thought I had 5 seconds ago. I agree with myself in my brain 5 seconds ago that in these shallow leagues, these 10x10s, I see neighbors.
Yeah.
I see, first round starter pick, and I'm like, hey, yep, hell yeah, give me that. And then you can kind of do you can do Caleb Johnson, Ken Walker. Like I'm not gonna cancel them out, but in terms of the trade, like Travis Hunter and
I feel like
Lad, Neighbors Ibuka. I think only
I
I
feel
would
like
not
in this
consider
format
this.
I underrated Ibuka.
Yes, but also I think if it was a 12x10, it would be harder to move T-Law in this type of deal because you'd feel like you were not getting enough back to move a quarterback in a Superflex league.
Yeah. No, I mean in a 10-team league, I'm like, cool, I get any value for him. The more I talk myself into the deal,
I do like Lad.
I think I would do the consolidation move, honestly, because Hunter, while he does have upside, I don't think his upside is like Neighbors upside or even Lad McConkey. Consolidate, get Neighbors, lock in that guy, and then you don't have to worry about the QB being overvalued, having a ton of value at the quarterback position, and then you also have the Ibuka upside if Ibuka hits, and the downgrade from Kenneth Walker to what's his name, Caleb Johnson isn't that bad in my opinion.
Yeah. Ooh,
there we go. Talk myself out of it.
And you diversified your teams. Now you've got a giant in the receiver room, a giant and a buck,
and a buck.
And I am probably too high on Ibuka. So.
Oh, yeah, I know. There's a premium when it's coming.
There's an Ibuka offer premium.
I'm selling all my Ibuka.
Yeah, I think I am doing this. I do think you probably could get more. I could see. So this is coming from. I mean, maybe not. This is coming from which team? Kenneth Walker.
I think it's hard to move Neighbors. I think it's gonna be hard to move Neighbors.
Oh, it was the Caleb J.
Did we hit this this Barlow 1776?
In the Discord?
Yeah. But JMO, it's a lot of Lions players.
Oh, let's go. It's just a trade, right? I think I've got that one.
Yeah, just a trade.
All right, perfect. Here we go.
Okay, cool.
Barlow. Got you here. Big Barlow. All right. Wow. All right, here we go.
There's a lot going on here.
All right, getting JMO, Tedero McMillan, 2 firsts, 1 in 26, 1 in 27, and a third for Amon-Ra, Garendo, and a second. I think I'm doing this.
Even in the 10-team start 10?
10-team start 10? 2 firsts? You're telling me that both of those firsts, worst case scenario, are the 110?
I think I'm doing it too. I mean, that's just a lot of value.
I know, and I am not buying the JMO is going to outproduce Amon-Ra this year that I've seen from a lot of people of just like.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say you're going to take shots at my guy Tet, but no. JMO's not outproducing Amon-Ra.
And the thing is, you don't even the fun thing about this is a lot of these trades where you are adding onto these rookies to get Amon-Ra, or you're trading away Amon-Ra to get a rookie in a first or something. A lot of the bet is placed off of how does this rookie produce, and are they close enough 80% of Amon-Ra. I don't even think you really need to hit that to feel good about this trade. Like, if I saw JMO in 2 firsts for Amon-Ra, I'd be like, yeah, shallow, give me the Amon-Ra side pretty easily, but I wouldn't be like, you're an idiot. So I think JMO, McMillan, 2 firsts, I think that's more than enough to move off of Amon-Ra.
Yeah, and the nice part too is a lot of times you see these jumbo deals, and we've seen some earlier in the show, and they'll be like, oh well, I am giving up Amon-Ra, but then they sneak in a Caleb Johnson, someone of value. But the stuff 28-second Garendo, see ya. I'm gonna have, you're telling me I'm gonna have 2 first-round picks. I'm gonna have Tet, who does have upside of unknown wide receiver 1, in potentially this year's Washington Commanders breakout team in the Carolina Panthers, going all the way to the NFC Championship. Might see that, beating the Lions into playoffs, all those things.
Don't talk about the Lions. Lions got some bad, has gotten some bad training camp news that I will not talk about. It'll just make me sad. We'll be all right.
Hoping here.
We'll be all right.
But yeah, no, I think that's a good deal, even in a shallow league.
Yeah, no, I like that. Ooh, believe in the Panthers for sure. All right, what's up, Zeno? I know it might not matter or mean anything, but I wanted to ask something real quick. Hey, all of your chats,
let's drop it, Zeno,
mean something and matter.
We're all focused.
And while I'm awaiting that, I will get this next one up. Christopher, I see yours in here. Oh, and I see this one too. You pull up the Kyle board. I love the home. We have to pull it. I have to pull up this.
You got to pull up the board.
That's awesome. Oh, and then
Kyle they got the printed out Dynasty Daddy picks.
Heck yeah.
That's sick.
All right. While we're waiting on this one, Zeno, I will jump over to.
Dude, that's like homemade. Like, I love the like the drawn in names and all that. Like, it's not even a sticker. Like they
actually, let me just pull it up. I want to give the full credence to the board. I was gonna pull it up like
you got to give it some.
We're gonna do the full display capture for this one so I can properly zoom.
You got to give it
get
some
off
love.
the screen trade. We'll make this one smaller here too.
We got the Zeno drop. Is this normal off-season trading stuff, or do you think it could mean something in terms of who is leading the backfield?
Oh, so this is Jaguars now. I think getting the Jaguars RB1 could be a good hit in fantasy year. I agree. I am leaving almost every one of my best ball drafts with one of the running backs. They just all go so late that if one is hit, it is like the pick of fantasy. Like if Tootin is like the Bucky Irving, whatever, like everybody use that comparison. But if that is true, then that is going to be like the 30% pod advance rate in that format. So totally agree with that.
He's Bucky with a 40-inch vertical. That's what I heard.
True. I'm in Travis Hunter's new video. He's training with Trev, BTJ, and ETN only from what's shown in the video. And this is what I said, man. This is what I was trying to get to.
Dude, this was. Yeah, go for it.
No. I was just gonna say, like, this is. I mean, the information. There's gonna be so much information with like the off-season training stuff and non-official training stuff, where teams always do this, where like the players will get together and who's available. I will say I wouldn't want to read too much into. Like, I don't think that necessarily they've got a group chat and Trevor Lawrence is like. Someone's like, oh, should we add Tank to this? Or like, what about the new guy? And they're like, LOL, no, like ETN RB1 for the season. Cohen already told me, or yeah. So I wouldn't read like too crazy into that, because a lot of that stuff is like who's available or whatever. And I'm sure it was a little bit more focused on like Trevor Lawrence and the receivers. But I think the expectation is ETN is RB1 leading into the season, regardless. That's how it's being drafted in Underdog. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Logic Brain. We're gonna put Logic Brain on. I mean, ETN's definitely gonna start. I do think eventually we will see Tootin get some sort of opportunity. Now, I don't know if it's gonna be Keaton Mitchell type of opportunity where it's like, oh, you might come in for a home run play here or there, or if it's gonna be like a slowly phase into more of a 60-40 type, split. And it's also a long season, so if ETN goes down, then you could have a Chase Brown situation where all of a sudden it's just Tootin or die. And I think Bigsby also plays a very significant role in that offense as well, because he's kind of more of a grinder back, whereas like ETN and Tootin are more of his like, satellite type backs. So to me, I think it's going to be kind of like a bunch of them. Like, I doubt they're just going to hammer one. But I will say, I mean, this is me last stream talking about the Panthers boat trip with all the wide receivers. I mean, it's, like that's just. It's the time where it's like, oh, maybe they're not friends with Jalen Coker. Like, is this trouble? Like we do have to take some grain of salt here, and also a big part of it is injuries and stuff like that. Like that's Chase Brown wouldn't be RB1 to finish out the year if Zach Moss didn't go down. And it's not anything Zach Moss did. It's just it's a physical game. It's hard to play all the games.
Yeah. It's at like a high school. I actually did watch that earlier. No one mind anything. Just wanted to ask. Yeah, I mean, the real answer is we don't know, right? Like exactly how everything is going to play off, and that's why all of these off-season stuff for me is putting together all the pieces of like good and bad information that you'll get from coaches and press conferences and reports from individual players during interviews and camp reporters. But yeah, this we got to take a look at this. This is just beautiful, man. The trifold, this is looking like a science project, but all the good ways and none of the funny ways.
It's a science fair I want to show up to.
Yeah, I'm eating I'm setting my bag of popcorn down that I got from the last to trifold to come take a look at this. But yeah, so these are the picks here. So 107, 109, and dude, Matthew Golden. Dang.
First that slide, yeah.
That is crazy.
I mean, all of them slid.
I know.
Jaden Higgins, Trey Harris,
Judkins, Golden.
It's crazy that like Scattaboo what Scattaboo, that would be the 202?
Yeah, that is nuts.
In like a 12 team?
Yeah, I'm not trying to rip on this is so beautiful. I don't want to rip on some of these picks. But I do want to rip on some of these picks. But you had a great draft, Kyle. I feel great that I don't have to rip on any of your picks. And Dylan Sampson.
If you message here, it's a safe space.
Come on.
Everyone that messages here, it's always... Where's Dylan Sampson go?
Dylan Sampson, our boy Kyle.
Early fourth,
man. Bang.
I mean, you got both of them.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Make a grown man cry.
That is.
I do love the
solid drafting.
The
right
snippets
there.
of the team breakdowns too. Kyle? I'm curious. Are your
impressive.
Mates Dynasty Daddy enjoyers as well, or are you kind of like leading the charge of like here's a site that does all these breakdowns and everything? Because that's definitely who I am for my home league. I've got a couple people that I've gotten on board to be Dynasty Daddy users. Feel free to criticize in any way possible. No, I think it was a great draft.
I mean, you made out well.
Bang.
And you just kind of played the value game, I feel like.
Sponsor the board, beautiful. Heck yeah. All right, now I think we had another one from you here, Kyle. See if I got the right one pulled up.
Yeah, he sent the link, I think.
So this is a specific question for fab drop related.
And it does reset.
All right, and this is I think there were two different posts, but I think this is the same team, so I think I got it. So this is, would you drop Amari Cooper, Dalton Schultz, and/or Lockett for this year's rookie taxi squad at my bench? So there's kind of a two-parter because I know the one is just a little bit more general of like who would you pick up fab related. We could take a look at that in a second. But as far as drops from these three, Amari Cooper, Dalton Schultz, and/or Tyler Lockett for this year's rookie taxi squad. For me, I think like if I get deep into camp, I'm down to drop like the Amari Coopers of the world, like Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, that aren't on rosters, and it's not looking like they're, gonna play. And if it is, it's gonna be something weird in season. Especially with like, man, all these receivers. Yeah, you do not need Tyler Lockett on this team. But we'll take a peek at. Wait, is this true? Oh, it's Trevor Etienne. Addison, I would definitely want to pick up.
Rashad Smith.
Smith. Honestly,
Woody's roundup.
I would pick up.
Yeah, I would just be hammering. I mean, I think the hard part is like Amari Cooper. I don't know how sharp your league is, but Amari Cooper is like not Degen like brained. Like he's a household name to an extent in the fantasy community.
Yeah.
To where like I'm hesitant to just be like, see ya, versus like dropping like Dwami Brown or something like that. Because like, oh no, like you drop Brown or Whittington. Like I don't think anyone's gonna be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. Like a Cooper and a Lockett, those are just such household names. I mean, I'd be sending them like Cooper for any fourth. Like, can I get anyone just to take a flyer on one of these guys, and then it's like sure. And I also think like in a 10 team,
Yeah.
I don't need this many tight ends. Like,
I know.
I don't need all these.
You can
like
throw.
I'd probably be trimming some of these other guys before I
Was this my
cut
fault,
a
Kyle?
household name.
Darren Waller. You can put him on the pup, pick somebody up, or put him in your IR.
That's
probably.
true.
Yeah, I like. I probably would not. Man, it's kind of tough, but I definitely would lean. I mean, definitely Gadsden and those running backs for sure. I would want to. I should put them on the pup.
Rashard Smith. Also add him to that list of I should probably pick up guys.
Yeah, and these are too like a lot of these running backs are nice because you get so much information through training camp and preseason stuff with usage where it's pretty. I mean, and we'll make mistakes, right? I'm sure we'll drop some 6th, 7th rounders that didn't get any run that, a season and a half from now have some sort of role. But I'd rather make bets on that than receivers who I'm expecting to retire in a year or two.
Well, and two, like, don't get me wrong, I love the Gadsden story, and he might be a guy, but in a 10 team, start 10. Is it start 10? I mean, he doesn't have to be like a guy. He has to be the guy to be a guy that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has to be so good that you're sitting there being like, I will start him over Dalton Kincaid. Otherwise, why are you rostering him a ton?
Yeah,
like you can find a bunch of
I'm fine with Chig too.
Value at other positions.
Yeah,
like you already got the flyer in Waller. Like to me, it's like let me just load up on running backs because if Woody Marks has 1 week where he scores 10 points and you know that he's going to start, that's probably worth it. That's at least a guy that you can put in your running back spot, your flex spot. You have so many more options. Whereas, like, realistically, when are you going to start a tight end when you already got Dalton Kincaid, Darren Waller, the rapper, and Chig? Like it's hard to see a path for him being super viable in this format.
Mm-hmm. Man, I gotta
also
stop.
Applies to quarterbacks. Like
I keep tricking myself with the quarterbacks, man. I keep looking for like, how can I move? Like, can I move Russell Wilson for anything? And then I'm like, no one's gonna buy Russell Wilson. Nobody has to start.
This is from a man that's done like 110 team roster reviews, and they're all like,
okay, yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, I should look at the quarterbacks, and I'm like, wait, it's 10 team. Like everyone has like a Trevor Lawrence type player just slotted in, and they're not going to pay for another one.
Mm-hmm. As a Bills fan, trade Dalton and try to tear up. His value will only go down. It may honestly be Elijah Moore season in addition to Khalil Shakir. Man, when is what are the rumblings on Curtis Samuel? I feel like I've been hearing that he is still expected to be ahead of Elijah Moore, and I want to get excited about a crappy Bills receiver, and I haven't decided which one it's going to be.
I almost
or is it Josh Palmer?
Isn't that most of them right now? Isn't that pretty much all of them? Maybe Shakir. Maybe Shakir's breaking out of the I'm crappy receiver range, but
Kadarius Toney to the Bills.
Yeah, they need to get someone that's like actually good, like someone that you feel good about. I was hoping Amari Cooper would be that guy.
I know they need to get Amari Cooper 3 seasons ago. All right, let me double check and see if I hit. Oh, we do have Christopher's. We do have Christopher's, and I think we had one more that got thrown in there. All right, here we go.
Yeah, young Creevy as well.
What the hell am I supposed to do with these guys? I'm not gonna make that message overlay, but I did want to show it. Or
you got to give it a shout out. That's some art right there.
Rebuilding. Oof. All right, we got some work to do with you, Christopher.
It's a good thing you joined the Discord.
True. All right, so is this a...
Oh, you got a super team.
This is single quarterback. Sorry, I just wanted to... Sorry, that's rude to peek. Is it rude to peek at the super team when somebody asks you, what the hell am I supposed to do with this rebuilding team? And my eyes just want to look at how good the super team is.
No, you always got to look at the super team.
All right. I will say, asset-wise, like I see rebuilding and I see no first and I get sad and scared and cold. but some good assets, interesting assets. Single quarterback, Genty, Drake London, JSN, Rome, Xavier Worthy, Trey McBride. This is.
Ooh, I know it says you're ranked 12. But what's your thoughts on not tanking?
My only not pushback, but question, I guess, would be, is your plan? I mean, I think this is a fine. Let's see how things go for the first couple weeks, team. Sorry, you just let's just throw Jerome. We'll wait on the Judkins situation, and maybe we're playing Genty, Jerome Ford, one of these crappy running backs with this wide receiver room. And that's our starting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I think realistically what I'm doing is I'm probably cutting like Noah Gray or Benson Knott or something like that. Rostering as many backup running backs as I can. Like just load up. Like, can I get any free production anywhere?
Oh my gosh, can I get Hunter? Can I get Giddens? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of decent guys on the waiver wire. Like I can probably.
Wow, this sucks. Waivers don't open up until after the second preseason game. That is insane. That's
gonna be a bloodbath.
That's kind of a bummer
be
too.
A bloodbath.
Because I feel like it's such a fun part to be like, let me make these waiver claims post rookie draft on like these running backs that I want to follow through training camp. And now like everyone just gets an equal bet at players. That is kind of frustrating. But I'm sure some of these tight ends will like do good in the preseason. There'll be a lot of players that people will bid on. I guess it's single quarterback. Dude, my brain, I'm sorry guys. I'm really trying to adjust to these 10-team single quarterback leagues, but my brain is too super flex, 12-team pilled.
It's 12-team though. So this is 12-team.
Yeah, okay.
But
we're good.
It's 12-team start 9. It's pretty shallow.
Very shallow.
To me, I am just going to be rostering as many running backs as I can. I don't have my first.
I'm dropping.
So unless if I can get my first back, then to me, it's not like I'm not going to try to rebuild realistically because I still have young players of upside. Like maybe I try to split like a GT into like JT and someone else like that can be serviceable. But I can also probably say maybe there's another team that has like Marvin Gaye Jr. has Alvin Kamara is ranked 11th. Okay, maybe I can trade him a second or something and get Kamara or something. Yeah, like there's ways to kind of maneuver, find some production. To me, it's like the hard parts you don't have your first. So to me, it's like, can I stitch together a Frankenstein team to at least be one shot away at being really in the mix, and then just hope I get lucky.
Reason. Yeah, there's no reason to tank. You have 7 bench spots open and 2. Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, I think these running backs for sure. I know you talked about eyeing Corey Kiner here, but yeah, I mean I'm taking all these guys. Give me Hunter, give me Giddens, give me Smith, give me James, give me Tosh Brooks.
Yeah,
just copy paste this onto your roster. Like
yeah, no, that's like that would make your team feel a lot better. And then it really just comes down to like being aggressive with trades and not think about dynasty value for everyone. Because a secret with a league like this is a 12-team start 9. It's pretty shallow. You're barely playing dynasty. People don't want to think of like there's a couple dynasty players, but it's closer to a keeper league or a pure redraft league. Because when you only have to start 9 players, teams are going to flip up and down so much. Like just think about 2 years ago, Amari Cooper in the playoffs drops 45 points in the playoffs. In a start 9, you're not beating that. You're not scoring 45 points in a start 9. Now in a start 11, a start 12, there's more players, there's more variance. Or there's less variance because you have to start more players. In a start 9, you can just have a guy go off and win. So to me, you have a Josh Allen, you have a Drake London, JSN, a Trey
Elite
McBride.
at the onesies is very nice in single quarterback too. Like elite Trey McBride and elite Josh Allen is like, if that's the reason for like the weak running back room and you're able to attack it this way, like this team is a good team.
Yeah, like to me, it's like I'm not panicking yet. It's certainly not ideal that you don't have your first, but like it is what it is at this point. Like now you got to hunker down and say, okay, I got to make this team work somehow. And then if it doesn't, you can try to split a Josh Allen for like Purdy in a first or something. Try to recoup some firsts if it really gets desperate.
Yeah. And it's like, I will say that the 2 firsts and a second and Kyle Pitts for London, which caved me. Yeah, but I think that's a fine move in a single quarterback. Like firsts are just slightly less valuable. Like they're still valuable in single quarterback, but when you remove those quarterbacks from the equation, one, obviously it removes those players just in general. Like obviously we talk about it, it pushes down the draft board when you take Cam Ward out, when you take Jackson Dart out. But in good quarterback classes, the nice thing about having first round picks is you're locked in a longevity bet for a specific player. And so when you don't need that, with Josh Allen, you're good. Yes, no. I don't think you mentioned that, Jeremy, but that never crossed my mind. Trading Josh Allen.
I did mention trading Josh Allen.
No. Why?
Josh Allen, I will say Josh Allen is one of the few quarterbacks in a 1 QB league that will get interest. So like to me it's like, who can I tier down to get decent production?
Yeah.
Because like even in a 1 QB league, like Josh Allen's elite production isn't the same as Jamar Chase's elite production or
That's
something
fair.
like that. So to me, it's like, can I
if
find
he's
a way
in that vein for sure.
to
Yeah.
downgrade?
Yeah.
But I don't think you necessarily need to downgrade because it is a shallow league.
Yeah, and Jeremy can speak to this more, but the website hates my team. Definitely, I mean, a single quarterback too, and a lot of it is, I think, the overall value marker. So obviously, because of the way you built your roster, if you're just gonna roster less than other teams, like you said, you have empty bench spots, that's gonna hurt your overall value because it isn't adding in, the 3K for Debo, the 1,800 for Adam Thielen. This guy's got Shador 2,300. Like this QB room, I would take this probably over most of the other teams. Just Josh Allen, a single quarterback. So this 11 isn't a true 11.
It all depends on the value on the roster or the starter rank, which is what calculates like the tiers, the contender, rebuilder. But you also got to factor in too, when you have a super team, like it pushes everyone else down because they're the only contender, because that's just how,
right?
If there's only one contender in that top tier, then we say, hey, that's a super team, and then everyone else kind of shuffles to it. And I will say, you don't see super teams often. You'll see a trusted process more often, where it's just a guy like completely tearing everything down. But super teams are hard to get. And if you are going to get them, it's going to probably be in a league like this, where it's like you only need 9 players that can really tip the scale.
I would not do this. And I think you probably would aim higher if you were actually going to be sending out the deal. But I just would not.
I'm holding on my 2028 first right now. Like I don't have any more ammo, and a Jaden Blue or Tyron Tracy type, like I would need a player of a much higher caliber to prevent me from, because once you use your 2028 first, it's like, well, like this is my team till 2029 in theory.
Yeah.
So like I have to work with what I got. So to me, I'm like, I'm gonna hunker down. 2028's the wall. If it doesn't work, then it's like the Clippers, right? Where it's like you sign all your players for, like, here's 2 years, we're gonna roll with Beal and Chris Paul and all these old guys. But now in 2 years, we get our picks back, and now everyone's off the books. Like that's gonna be how I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm gonna roll with this team. I'm gonna try to make it work. I'm gonna be making moves, but I'm not gonna be selling my future, because if it doesn't work, at least 2028 rolls around, and my team, I control my future. I can,
your age,
flush out all the bad stuff.
Too, like you have rookie year Genti, you got Young, London, JSN, Rome, Worthy, Pearsall, Trey McBride. Like the oldest, like competing asset on your team is Josh Allen, who is 29, but gonna play for the next handful of seasons. So yeah, I wouldn't be too stressed about building the best running back room right now to compete week 1 when you can find cheaper ways to do that. And if you're gonna send that first, I want it to be for Brees Hall specifically. No, just I would want a better bet at running back.
No,
Ooh,
no one
okay.
else, just Brees Hall.
All right, let's hit this guy. Let's go back to Kyle. So this is the fab bids we were talking about with this team and going after the, we liked these running backs that were here, potentially Gadsden as well. But if the fab does not reset, are you blowing the LOAD on these running backs and Gadsden, if you care?
I mean, my top would be Ollie Gordon, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd be fine with any of these running backs. I would
Gordon
definitely
and
want
Brooks would be my go-to.
Yeah, Brooks I agree
But
with.
I like any of them.
Yeah, I would want to be placing bets on them all, or bids on them all, but so I would find a way to cleverly do that to where, you can do you're making claims and you're dropping the same player, and you could do like different sets of those, or you could just drop and do that. But $89 available. I mean, I would be fine. Like, the thing is, who are you going to miss out that isn't one of those running backs, if that makes sense? Like, I would be fine getting close to like fully blowing it. Like, there's a chance.
Yeah, I mean, if it resets too, like right.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like,
it all on all these.
Yeah.
Like, how many of these dudes kind of roster?
Yeah, and we talk about it that like it is nice to have some fab to be able to like make bids on the hype piece generic princes of the world that you can potentially move for force straight off of waivers. But that's going to come from this pool anyways. Like you're already
it's going to be one of these guys.
6th round load.
It's going to be Ollie Gordon falling face first into the end zone twice, and everyone's like, "Oh boy, here." Like that's all it takes.
Never mind. This moment will be forever immortalized as the pre-championship analysis. I will say that I have thought about naming my best ball teams the ones that I draft on stream, like the date of the stream that I drafted them, but I also feel like that might just be a net loss on the time spent. But I might do it. I think that's a little self-fulfilling prophecy if I don't feel confident enough in my drafts to name them the streams to revisit.
You got to start. Yeah, you got to start calling your shots.
Starting with the Baker Mayfield. What better place to start than the Baker Mayfield number draft? 6.
I will say big day for caps lock in our chat.
Big day for caps lock. I think it's the hype for we've got camp started, right?
We're close.
I watched more training camp clips today than I have in a minute. I got that 32 beat writers on notifications on Twitter. I think we had
no Dov.
Maybe we should do the fruit tier list. Now that I think I have.
Now that he's not here,
I've got one more.
We got Cravey.
Young Cravey. I'm gonna make this little overlay. Let's do
the Purdy one.
Ooh, all right. I'm gonna hit you with this Apache. Is that a word? I know that's a word, right? That is a word. Yeah, Jeremy, can I get a word?
It's like
check?
an Adobe product, right?
Don't say right. I obviously don't know what's going on. Trying to go from Purdy to Hurts. What would close the gap for you? All right, that's kind of a wow. That was a.
Ooh.
I'm gonna let you go full screen for this one. that is a hard one.
Don't full screen me on this.
I'm making the overlay.
Oh my gosh. Man, I mean, I do.
That's tough.
I think both these players are undervalued. Like but in reality, I feel like you're gonna need like 2 firsts to get into that conversation.
Yeah,
like,
4th, 5th round
like
to
Purdy,
first round of a startup.
Yeah, like it needs to be like a strong ass off for you to go from a Purdy to a Hurts. Because Purdy is like in between like the Tua and like the Kyler tier, where it's like you're not like he's getting up there, but he's has a ceiling. Like he'll never be like no one's gonna be like, oh my gosh, should I get Purdy or Herbert? but Hurts is like even above the Herbert tier. So you're jumping multiple tiers. You're going to probably need like a significant piece with that. But it doesn't necessarily have to be 2 first. I don't know if it's a startup draft, but I mean, it could be like, here's a first, and let me toss in like a Rome Odunze or something like that. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Definitely
I mean,
would have to be.
to...
It would have to be interesting enough. Wide receiver, like upside wide receiver bet, like a Rome for sure would have to be the starting point, I think. All right, we'll hit this one real quick, and then we'll get to Young Cravey. Tacos or enchiladas? I'm gonna go chimichangas. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that.
There's no third option.
I can't pivot.
Tacos or enchiladas? I'll take cinnamon pretzels.
Ooh, wait, guys.
Definitely tacos. I'm more of a taco person.
I make 4
actually
things.
Answer Kyle's question.
I make 4 things, and 2 of them are desserts, and one of them is cinnamon sugar
Will
tacos.
Dump.
Highly recommend. Actually, don't highly recommend because Will's been trying to be a healthy guy, so I've not made cinnamon tacos in a while. But every night that I would make tacos, get a taco shell, put some butter on that thing, put it in the pan. You're cooking it, put some cinnamon sugar on it. Bussin'. All right. Had to break that down for you real quick. Real quick here, I'm talking to someone from the league right now who has Samson, and I may try to send Jerome Ford plus for Tyrone Tracy. I'd be curious what the plus would look like. Let us know what kind of plus you're looking at, but I'd be willing to do that. Way more than sending like picks. Make some mean toast. What are you putting on that toast, Jeremy?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I just put butter. I mean, Becca's she's lowballing herself, but she's gotten very into making homemade sourdough. So
I love
she
sourdough.
makes amazing sourdough loaves, and all I do is stick it in toast and then rub butter on it, and she's like, "Oh, this is so good." And I'm like, "You're the one that has the magic to this. It's I'm just pressing a button."
Okay. Oh,
So,
wait.
but-
All right, I gotta do this real quick before we go to the display capture. Well, I'll let you answer this while I'm pulling it. What's your guys' opinions on selling force for fab in season? I will say in formats where force are like irrelevant to me, like in like really shallow leagues where I am finding it hard to, like every rookie draft, I'm like, how many force can I trade up to move into the third, because I don't want to put all these players on the back end of my roster, whether it's like a shallow league, shallow bench. But yeah, let me know your general thoughts, Jeremy, while I go grab the scissor. I want to show you guys.
Okay. We got the Lions pillow, by the way.
It's a birthday. Shout out my daughter. She got me this Lions pillow for my birthday.
That's nice. It fits the room. But honestly, like, I may differ from some people. To me, it's like when I get a pick that's like an early second round pick and a late first round pick, and there's just something about the first round pick that hits different. That's like a lower tier of this. Like, if I put a fourth in a deal, to me, I feel like that just means a lot more than being like, here's 20 fab. So to me, like, I'm more likely to hold on to my fourth, unless if I have a ridiculous amount of fourths. If it's like I have 8 fourths and I'm gonna have to take these, okay, sure. Like, just let me get something that I can use because I don't want to take all of them. But to me, I'd much rather have the picks, because when I send it in a trade, it's not 15 fab. It's a 4th round pick. It's an actual pick.
All right. This was also, it actually isn't my birthday. My birthday isn't until Sunday. If you guys want to get me anything. Nothing Bundt cakes. Look at this thing, man. This is white chocolate raspberry. I want you guys to know, post stream, about 45 minutes post stream, I'm just gonna be knee deep eating this thing out.
Well, give us a tease. We'll give some ASMR.
Not after only one of us was allowed to say something weird. We can't double up the weird. We can do one weird. When you start stacking,
you gotta take a bite. You gotta take a bite here.
YouTube's gonna take the stream down.
1500.
I don't dislike Tracy, but I don't know if I want to send a second plus forward for Tracy.
I will say, Chris.
Can you try to aim higher? like just at least try before you start like sending and having offers in inboxes. Just aim higher, even if it's just a
I'm
bet
more
for this
inclined
season.
to buy like a Swift or something like someone that has some sort of guaranteed role. But to me, I'm very hesitant to move seconds, unless if I'm getting a locked in guy.
Yeah, and I don't
Like
just like
speculative
Tracy.
pieces are hard. I mean, Tracy's just like an odd like split. Like it's just we don't really know what's going to go on there.
All right. I do want to pull up this Cravey trade real quick, and then we'll get to some of these other chatters, chat messages.
Zeno likes your fade off the screen, by the way. That was smooth. That's some
Thank
just
you.
the
I was a little nervous. I am wearing my wife's shorts. I thought they were mine, and I asked her, and she said, "Yeah, those are yours. They are not mine. They fit enough to me not get us banned if I show the bottom." Okay, we're just gonna move on. All right, Cravey here.
well, I like you're like, I hope no one knows I'm wearing my white shorts. So let me just have a inner monologue in front of everyone.
I'm open and honest. Okay. True. It's my birthday. All right. We've got all right, shout out Cravey here. I got you. Year 2 league. Wondering if you guys have any suggestions for turning some of my receiver capital into an RB2, a second QB, or picks. I've been offered JMO for Montgomery, Nico for JMO, and a first. Nico for Harvey or James Cook and Geno Smith, and 2 late picks. Man, the Nico deals are going to be tough for me, even though some of these are reasonable, because I am such a Nico stan. Julio Jr. Will has been known to refer to Nico Collins as.
I do want to preface all of these conversations with the fact that it is a 12-team start 8.
Yeah. That makes it tougher to tier off of Nico. But yeah, would you want to be attacking quarterback, or is this the kind of team where you would want to do that? You're just like, let me just be fine with the Russ, Rodgers, Stroud QB room this year versus having to use assets to tier up if I'm stretching myself and like moving off of Nico. You got Breece Hall, David Montgomery, Nico Hunter, Igbuka.
I think so. Just because like I don't know what else I would be able to get without like really hurting my team's future.
Right.
Like to me, I look at this and I say, okay, Nico is my locked in piece. Breece is solid. Stroud is solid. I got the Nico Stroud stack. I don't really want to break them up unless I get an amazing offer. And then I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, on top of it, I got Russ and Rodgers. That sucks. But also Dylan Gabriel's on waivers. Kirk Cousins on waivers. Winston's on waivers. Like there's guys on here that are one injury away or potentially just the week 1 starter, the week 5 starter, and like Dylan Gabriel.
I do this.
That if I'm just gonna platoon quarterbacks, I can probably piece together low end or high end, QB2 weeks from a lot of these guys. Just kind of streaming matchups.
Yeah, I like this. I would take JMO for David Montgomery. I mean, I would try to then turn one of my receivers into a running back. I know that kind of feels weird to do.
Yeah, I mean, getting JMO would be decent, but I mean, you have a ton of youngish wide receivers. I think your biggest move would be like, can I turn like a Pickens into like either a decent quarterback option or like some sort of security around running back?
Yeah, like I think
I'll tell you the name of this. The name of this league is just, am I getting the best player in the trade? Like that's really what it is, because like consolidation is always going to be the best thing to do.
Yeah, I love Nico too, but does his value get any higher than this? Seems like a good time to sell, but definitely want to hold out for a solid offer. I think here's my thing with that, and I get the sentiment of like players increasing in value when you start to get to like the age range of like receivers that within a year or two are going to start pushing into 27, 28. Like obviously the like higher value thing might not happen, but to me, Nico Collins consistently is going at the end of the first round in underdog drafts. That is half PPR. The expectation for people that are putting real money into drafts is that healthy Nico is difference making receiver production, and that's how I'm treating him across leagues. So to me, I think like value wise, I could be talked into these like tier down plus a firsts to, you know, give myself more flexibility. But to me, I in most of my leagues am trying to send players like JMO plus a first to get Nico, or trying to trade Geno and a running back and some late picks for Nico. And maybe I'm too high on Nico, but that's just that's the way I am approaching him right now.
I can dust off my Nico Collins scripts of why I think Nico Collins is very undervalued. But I mean, the reality is, like, does his value get higher? I think it kind of does, because we saw that through the first couple weeks where he was getting valued at the top 5, top 4 dynasty wide receiver. And to me, on top of that, you have Stroud. Not that stacks make everything in dynasty, but it's nice to have a stack, especially in a shallow league where it's like Texans have a good week, you're probably just going to win. Like it's just how it is. So to me, I'm not looking to tier down from any player, honestly. Like, to me, it's like, would I move Nico plus and get, you know, neighbors or something? Sure. Like that would be a scenario where I would move Nico, but I'm not trying to go further down. You already have a bunch of those speculative pieces anyway, with the Hunter and the Egbuka and the Waddle. I don't need another Pickens type player on my roster. I need another Nico type player.
Yeah, and I think specifically the JMO for Monty trade, I wanted to give you a follow-up trade just because I think that in a box is like the exact type of trade I want to do with the David Montgomery types. And I'm not even out on David Montgomery for this season specifically. I think the Lions love him and he will have his role for, you know, as long as he's a Lion. I just think it is going to be hard for them to not give Gibbs an increased workload. But I think I would then turn around and, you know, this team right here, this Grant Coble team, you know, maybe it's not Mixon or Chase Brown or JT, but maybe it's like a cheap pivot off of, you know, your lower wide receivers to get Spears or Jordan Mason, just to kind of fill out your reasonable starts at the running back position to kind of fill around your good receiver room. Or Goon Squad Incorporated here. Wow, only 3 running backs. Maybe that's a shallow team. I mean, Tony
Goon
Pollard,
Squad.
yeah, he's got 2. Okay. I mean, it's going to be hard because it looks like a lot of these teams that are weak at receiver are also very shallow at running back. But I would
It's just funny to me. Like, just random note, it's just like, we'll be like seriously breaking something down and it'll be like, oh, like Goon Squad Incorporated.
Yeah.
Some of the names when you're like, oh, well, like something stupid. It's funny. But yeah, I mean,
I've abandoned my child. These are good.
I do think like moving off Montgomery wouldn't be bad, but then like you either want to find a cheap production that produces good fantasy points, or you're going to want to just tier up to like the elite guys, especially at wide receiver, but even at quarterback in this type of league. So like if I could find a way to flip a Waddle or Pickens or something into some sort of locked in quarterback or locked in running back, I probably would do that.
All right. Nice.
How are you feeling about Tyrone Tracy? At worst, satisfies RB2 more comfortably than Ford and or the waiver guys we saw. And at best, could lower the giveaway in the potential Odunze for Hampton deal. I think this is referring back to the second 2027 second for Ford.
So I mean, how confident are you, Christopher, in that second part happening? Like, if you are confident that you can make that Odunze for Hampton and those seconds in a player deal happen, like post trade to get whatever another running back to trade away to do that, like I'm fine with that. But I just think Tyrone Tracy, I do like, and I think he has a role. But I am not going to pretend to be excited about the Giants' offense. I am not going to pretend to be excited about them bringing in, you know, Scatabo, even though it was in the 4th round. So to me, it's like, what do you win when you win with Tracy? And am I willing to pay a second for that? So like for me, when I'm trying to buy a running back, I am trying to buy like the last seasons of James Conner, the last seasons of Kamara, like these running backs that like I know are going to expire, but I also know I'm going to get, back end RB1 production for what I'm going to use them up for. That's just how I approach the running back position. But I do think there's some merit to the upside of, what if Tracy wins the job and holds on to it? But I just think there's enough smoke for me to not want to make that bet with a second round pick plus another running back. That's kind of similar to that J.K. Dobbins for, now it's different because it's Jerome Ford, but it's a second round pick versus a third. And if you guys remember, that was the J.K. Dobbins that was Rashad White for J.K. Dobbins in a third. I feel similarly about that deal with a second when it's Tyrone Tracy and Jerome Ford. I mean, there's a world where Jerome Ford is, the first 6 games of the season is whatever. Tyrone Tracy, 80% Tyrone Tracy, also bad offense.
I'm just hesitant. And like I will agree, yes, like valuing picks more will be helpful, but also it's something of like, and I always use this analogy, but it's like going to the grocery store with money versus going to the grocery store with last week's groceries. Like, you're not going to be able to, like, you have to find someone that wants a Jerome Ford or wants a Tyrone Tracy. Going to someone with a second, every manager in your league is interested in getting a second. So I want to be hesitant to move those picks, especially when my current situation is I already traded my first round picks for the next 2 years. So my flexibility is somewhat limited, and I have to make this work. So I need to stretch these seconds more than I need to stretch a second in a situation where I do have all my picks, where it's like, okay, well, it's just a second. Because now after you trade this second, now I don't have a second. I'm down to 1 second in the next 2 years, and then all my 2028 picks. So to me, it's like, can I find a way? Like, sure, if you want Tyrone Tracy, cool. Is there a way I can attach Ford with, a random wide receiver or tight end or something that's not the flexibility of a pick? Because I just need to be cautious about using those, because once I use them, it's going to be harder to get them back.
Got this one here. What up, Godly Pip? Bryce Young, a 26 third and a 27 second for Goff and Jacoby Myers. Superflex, PPR, T-Law, and Penix are my other QBs. I'm probably taking the Bryce Young and pick side. I would be curious to know if Jacoby Myers like matters to your roster. Like if Jacoby Myers is more of a depth receiver and it's a shallower league, I'm probably just going to take the picks and the younger quarterback when I already have T-Law and Penix.
Yeah, I mean, I love Jacoby Myers, but I'm also, you can cover your ears, Will. I think Goff might be a little bit overrated as a fantasy quarterback at this point. So I would take the Bryce Young situation, especially because like your quarterbacks aren't locked in, right? You still have the kind of what's going to happen with T-Law situation. You have what's going to happen with Penix situation. Might as well just throw in Bryce Young and at least hope that some of them hit. And yeah, like to me, you get the extra, like Myers is worth a second to begin with. Like I can go get another Myers type player for a second if I need that.
Thanks for the suggestions, fellas. Been using the site for a while. Let me read the compliment, Jeremy.
Oh, sorry. I'm getting into it.
No, you're fine. Okay. Thanks for the suggestions, fellas. Been using the site for a while, but first time hopping on the stream. Best site for Dynasty by far. True. And look, Jeremy, Christopher says true. This was to another comment, but I want to pretend it was.
Also, we'll screenshot that. That's true. Context works.
David here. Sorry, you were whispering something when I
think
yelled at you?
There was a Brandon Schneider from 1043 getting blown up from a Brock Bowers owner. 10-team PPR. Bowers in a 26 second for Jason in the 105. I'm on a rebuild. My gut says no instantly due to losing just an asset. Where are you at? 10-team PPR. Don't know how many starters.
Ooh, or the tight end premium.
Or if it's a tight end premium. I don't know if
Brandon,
he's still in here.
apologies. We were 15 minutes late, but let us know what the tight end premium
He had to
is.
read the compliment. Oh, 9 starters, 3 flex, no tight end premium.
Ooh, I'm probably doing JSN in the 105. 9 starters? Is it 10 team start 9?
10 team start
this
9.
Is,
you got to go stud hunting.
I know you do have to go stud hunting. Also has the 104. Is it a super flex? Sorry, did I miss that?
Team PPR.
No super flex. Shallow single quarterback. 104, 105. Bowers in a 26-second. How good is your team, Brandon? Is your team like nasty? Like, you take Tedero McMillan at the? I mean, you're not going to at the 104. No, not good. Okay.
Okay, not good. Not good. He did say it's not good.
I probably am doing that then. It's bad.
Yeah, I agree. Wait, Jason is his asset. Yeah, then we're on the same page. The instantly no, like you're giving up 2 good pieces. You're rebuilding. You need. I mean, in 1 QB, you're walking away with Hunter, Tet, or Henderson, probably. Which I probably would rather have.
Yeah, and in a non-tight end premium, like I love Bowers, but in a non-tight end premium, like pure production-wise, like it's very possible. Like obviously the tight end position is like the big reason for the discrepancy, but very possible JSN Bowers are similar, and you get the 105 just in pure raw fantasy points. What up, Debadoobie? Me watching after moving all my picks. Hey, we don't know what those deals were. I will say, Will pushes in sometimes. I had a pretty bad push in that I don't want to announce on the stream, but
recently,
I think I did say it, and I feel worse about it. It was pre Najee stuff, post rookie draft, and it is definitely. I probably should have exposed myself when we were talking about how high I am on Nico. But I did trade Nico in a late 27 first Hampton in a late 27 first for Nico in an early 26 second.
Ooh, that is a steep one.
It was a steep one. It was a push in, but it's a little bit. I will say it's a little bit more about the way that I approach Dynasty. I am confident that that's the best move for my roster, even though it was overpay.
You ever play in a guillotine league?
I've not. I kind of do want to do some of these goofy redraft formats, but I think the strategy for me is, so if we're going to set the base,
don't lose.
So it is the lowest score each week is eliminated.
I think so.
And then those players you then can fab bid on, like the players that they drop onto waivers, is my understanding.
I think so, yeah.
I think the fab bidding stuff is like the most interesting aspect of like saving for like truly elite players or only buying truly elite players. I think for me, in terms of like pure draft stuff, I am not reaching for, like on Underdog specifically, best ball formats where you are playing for the end of the season and it's very much like who is smashing. Like for the full season, yes, but who is like really hitting their stride come weeks 14, 15, 16, 17? Do not care about that. Like give me my old crappy running backs versus like
it's consistency. Yeah,
Travion Henderson, where it's like I like Travion Henderson, but like you're gonna draft Travion Henderson in week 1, Ramondre Stevenson's gonna get the first carry, and you're gonna be like, what the hell? Why?
Yeah, you can't eat a lot of zeros. In a way, it's kind of like, it's like best ball, but you have to start all the players, and you're like, well, I can't have a bunch of Gabe Davis type wide receivers that might score 2 touchdowns or might score nothing. So, yeah, I mean, I've never played in one, but it's one of those like cool formats. Like, oh, like it kind of puts a fun twist on the game.
I will say redraft wise, I'm happy I have 1. I want to have 2. I want to convert one of my redraft leagues to an auction. I think auction is like the most fun way to do redraft. But I do kind of get the feeling that there's some nostalgia to just like hoping your guy falls to you in just a classic.
There's something that hits
draft.
different when you got your queue and you're like
you're in the Discord call with your boys, or you're all huddled around the
please,
table with your
please
laptops.
let them fall.
Yeah. All right, I think did we hit this one?
Which one?
So this is David's. Can you?
I'm on the David Ross one.
Okay. Can we read it?
Do you want to go for it?
Yeah, I'll read it. Can you all tell me what scoring setting generally tends to be to balance positions based on the 3-year WAR average on your site? Is it half PPR with a tight end premium, assuming super flex? I think the quarterback aspect is interesting too, because but I guess if you kind of want to ignore the quarterbacks a little bit, wouldn't you think? I mean, let me know if something's jumping out to your mind. I'm kind of guessing based off of. So this is the skill position players: wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs. So yeah, we don't have to worry about the quarterback position.
Yeah, I mean, I think in half PPR, tight end premium is like a funny thing. Like it kind of makes the best tight ends better and doesn't really help the middle. So I think the best for WAR would either be doing like a 2 tight end format or doing like a not fully double, but like kind of like a 0.3. Shouts to the 0.3 tight end premium league, but something like that where there is a little bit of a tight end boost for tight end premium, but I do feel like once you get to double tight end premium, it kind of messes. It's not like a broken format, but it starts making it to where like, oh, if this tight end just catches the ball 6 times, it's probably better than a wide receiver 3. So I like the not completely double. I feel like that typically tends to have the best market.
I've been fantasizing, for better or worse, about Ben Sinnott and Noah Gray doing unarguable things so I can recoup value.
How much value did you spend on them?
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, I will say usually we ask these questions and we wait for a follow up. Feel free to not follow up on this one if you want to just leave this chat message for what it is.
What are the unarguable things? And yes, I do have a Panthers helmet in the back. Not a helmet, a ball. It's a signed Bryce Young football. It was a
Lions pillow in the back.
It was his rookie year, and I was like, I know it's going to be a up and down now that I got a signed football, but hopefully he turns it around.
Do you have a Rico Dowdle take? I have been taking him a decent amount just based off of where he goes in best ball drafts,
yes.
Just because I think he could kind of eat into specifically pass catching stuff with Chuba. Do you think that is a real possibility that people start Rico in deepish leagues this year at the running back spot?
Not really. I mean, I think you're betting on an injury for significant fantasy usage. Sure, I mean, I think Chuba last year, got a big contract. Chuba also looked really, really solid. He didn't look like Barkley or anything breaking the league, but he was good enough to where you're like, okay, this is a solid producing back. The offensive line's really good. They're going to run it a lot. So I feel good at investing in Chuba. Rico's like, okay, cool. It's a handcuff. Like he might have 30% of the workload, might get some touches sometimes, but I'm going to really need like an injury for me to really be like, okay, now Dowdle's getting 50% or more of this work.
Other trade question: give Judkins in a mid 27-second get Chase Brown. Rebuilding team, 12 teams, Superflex start 10, full PPR 1.5 10 premium. I mean,
you're going robot for me right now.
Oh, really? Is it bad?
What Judkins a mid-second for Chase Brown.
How do you take this one?
Rebuilding team. My honest take would be keep Judkins here because you're a rebuilding team. So if he gets suspended, it doesn't really impact. Like you're not going to win this year. So keep the value.
Beep boop beep. Am I so robo boy for you?
You're good. You're back.
Nice. Yeah, I am. Especially the rebuilding team context. I think I for sure would take Judkins. I think there's some people who would take, pre-situation Judkins straight up, and I think the second is a beautiful safety valve buffer for that kind of move, even though I am a Chase Brown guy.
Yeah, I mean, I like him, but Judkins was a lot of draft capital, and you get a second, so it's hard to pass that up.
No promises, because I will say the first leagues that Will is looking to cut in most situations are his redraft ones. So, but feel free to shoot me a message, shoot me a DM, guys. Shoot me a DM on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, please, guys. I've been doing the thing where I'm trying to force myself to do a tweet a day, like some sort of fantasy, whether it's like a best ball, a dynasty thing. I want to do a tweet a day. I want to get back into it. There also is the sad part of me is like, is this really worth it unless I'm paying Elon Musk $8 a month to have a blue check mark next to my name? So we'll see. But you guys can help solve.
I'm in the same boat. I'm like, okay. People like when I post a trade database question though. So
I do like
sometimes
those.
people
I'm gonna start stealing those. Person wanting JSN is also on a rebuild with neighbors, so Dude Powers with the 1, 2, and 1, 3 this year. So part of me just didn't want him having 3 top 5 picks. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I think we're pretty set on the JSN pick side. Auction is fun and the best format. People don't have the patience for it. Yeah, man, it's this generation, bro. It's a TikTok.
Oh, boy. We're getting to the time. It's
how much time you got?
All them kids.
I had my wife used to be a teacher, man. I got all the attention span combos from her, the breakdowns of the youths.
Oh yeah.
So David here, this is back to the war format equality. You mean like 0.5 PPR and say 0.75 tight end premium? I know you were talking more 2 tight end stuff, but if it was pure tight end premium,
pure solo tight end, I'd still probably want like at most a 0.5, but probably like a 0.3 or a 0.4. Like I feel like a complete double starts making, like it makes it to where it's like I want to flex more tight ends than I kind of want to value wide receiver 3s. So then it kind of consolidates the wide receiver market a bit, in my opinion.
All right, 10 by 9 elite value team. My general strategy is I want to consolidate for high-end assets and liquidate my middleweight players with potential for picks. Yeah, I totally agree with this statement. I think the worst thing that people could do in these shallow leagues is because I have asset value, let me just build the like deepest, sickest team that is going to score the most points. I can trade away first to do that, when in reality you should be liquidating to upside potential buzzword players for picks. Would you overpay in trades for high-end assets or hoard value? Yeah, I think I'm kind of similar to what I was just saying, but I think my general strategy in shallower leagues is I want to have like the best dynasty that you can have in those leagues is a strong enough, whatever dynasty youthful team. And usually it's the way I'm able to do that is being cheap enough at running back where it's like the James Conner, Kamaras of the world versus having a couple of, Achane, Genty, Gibbs, where it's like that's sick to have. But when you have to trade your wide receiver room to do that, when you have to tear down a quarterback to do that, when you have to trade away first to do that, it's just cheaper to build the teams the other way. But yeah, generally it's a strong enough team where you're able to hoard value, I guess, in picks. But it's kind of tough when there isn't a specific trade or players we're looking at.
I mean, I will just say rule of thumb, shallow league, consolidation's king. If you make a trade, are you getting the best player or the best pick in the deal? You probably are winning that trade. That's just how it is. Like if you're getting the best player, the best pick, that's that. Pretty much anytime I'm making a trade in those leagues, it's am I getting the stud? Like what is the center of this entire deal?
Well, we got Plush Photo Booth here, 10-team PPR. I was gonna say I'll put you on the spot, but these are 2 pretty elite players being moved: Chase, Metcalf, and Jalen Wright's 10-team PPR for Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, and Josh Jacobs. I mean, I'm taking the Neighbors, Wilson, and Jacobs side.
Yeah, I mean, you get 3 usable players. I
And
mean,
Neighbors is
beyond usable.
close enough to me to chase just in pure like best player asset wise that I will take the Metcalf to Wilson and right to Jacobs pretty
Right to
happily.
Jacobs is a huge jump, especially in a
Massive.
10-team league. It's probably pretty shallow. I will say, I don't know if you saw the tight end post by Chris.
This nothing on them. They're free agents, but Gray is Kelsey heir apparent, and Sanat should be Daniel's guy forever. Oh man, I feel like those are good men to fantasize about. You know what? It's a free country. It is a free country.
The last sentence was that was a good one. I just needed the sound bite. We're gonna run with that.
Ooh. Have you guys, what up, Curtis? Have you guys ever had the Dynasty fantasy bug leave you? I had a trade situation go pretty sour with a guy verbally agreeing and then making a different trade 2 days later. That is tough.
Okay, crazy story. Back in the day, before Dynasty Daddy existed, I posted a trade on Reddit. They had like the Reddit trade threads because I wasn't in any Discord or anything. But I posted a trade, and it was like Zeke and like a late first or something. One of my friends in my home league was stalking my Reddit account.
Dang.
Found that trade and then sent a different offer for that first round pick, and I got stuck holding the Zeke bag. And that's when I was like, damn. Like that's why whenever I'm in I will not post any home league trades or anything where I'm like, this dude can find it, because I'm like, this dude is. It's like that person in Game of Thrones with all his I'm like, I'm being watched. Big Brother's watching me here.
I'll real quick do the sad one. I shout out to the boys. I used to work at a restaurant and carry out place, and we had a fantasy league redraft every year, and we instituted a new rule where you could keep one player. I hate that thing. And there was no rules about like what round you could keep them in. It was just like you just keep a player. It's like, okay, like what are we doing here? We're just like baby foot. But like nobody was intense enough at that time to go like deep into Dynasty or whatever. But they
didn't know who they were messing with.
Yes. So there was a trade, and it was like CEH his rookie year for, I don't even remember, like Aaron Jones or something. And I think I was like getting AJ Brown, some kind of deal like that. And I sent it to the commissioner. He accepted it. Trade went through. And then he changed his mind, went into the app, and reversed the players back on the other teams. And I was like posting in the chat about it. I was like, guys, like this is just an obvious abuse of power. Like there is no trial that needs to be had. And everyone's like, Will, he changed his mind. Stop being a baby about it. And that scarred me. And the league didn't continue the next year. I would have stayed in it. I would have stuck through it, but it's a bummer. But we'll go to Curtis here. We shared our traumas with you, Curtis. We can sympathize or empathize, whichever of the thighs you want. Had to let things sit and haven't done anything for a couple months, which I guess off season is best for that. How do you get back in love with it? That's a good question. I will say that you do kind of have to accept that like some people are gonna do like kind of crappy things. You know, like you're just going to have a bad interaction with a specific manager. Somebody goes back on their word. And I will say that's another thing with like your interactions with other people matter. Like you probably are not looking to trade with that person. And that is like one avenue of potential value increase trade that person does not have access to because of the way they acted in another trade. But I'll just say, you know, Curtis, for every one person that is a little, whatter, there are 100 great people in the beautiful Dynasty Daddy Discord. And if you want to get in one of these leagues where I promise no one will do that to you, join the Dynasty Daddy League.
It's ethical fantasy football.
Ethical fantasy football. I promise nothing bad will ever happen to you. All your picks will hit. No, that is terrible.
If
but I guess
Will is about to fleece you, he promises that he will send you a counter offer. That is fair.
For sure. But I do think that you did the right thing. I think like if you get really frustrated about it, and I'm sure it was like an important league and like the trade was like impactful, and those hurt even more when it's not like a huge, like you don't have a huge portfolio and it's like a specific move or whatever. Yeah, I think you did the right thing, waited, but just remember, like, think about the great feeling you're gonna have week 1 when you're setting your lineup and you're sitting down on your couch, your computer chair, however you watch football, and you're getting ready to watch those fantasy points be scored. Man, I try to not lose sight of that. It's like why we're all in this for the first place. The love of the game. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I mean, nice part of the off seasons you can just walk away and like realistically, like you can be tuning in every week, which you should, but you also could not be tuning in to your sleeper app and checking everything, and realistically, you're probably gonna be fine. So it's a good time to take like a month or so away and be like, I can come back, be ready to actually play the game and enjoy it again, and not be burnt out about it. I mean, that's with any time you deal with like frustrating things, you get burnt out, you're like, I need to just do something else for a little bit, and then all of a sudden the itch comes back and you're like, I mean, it's that way with my website. I'm like dealing with stuff and I'm like, oh, this is frustrating, and then I don't work on it for a day and now I get the itch. I'm like, oh, I need to be doing something somewhere. So I'm sure it will come back. It's nice to just have a little bit of time to step away.
All right, we're hitting the 2 hour 20-minute mark. Will's getting ready to go potty, but we'll hit this one, Brandon. So this is I can't type, I'm sorry. So this is our league our league I think was like stalled for a bit. Then within 1 month we had like 3 to 4 trades between people. Yeah, I think the off season too is kind of a lot of people, especially off season, post rookie draft, people have like made their bets and their claims. So I feel like there are like little seasons where there's huge pauses in trade activity. But once like, man, you start getting camp reports, we're heading into
July,
preseason stuff.
It's obviously like January, February is so dead, and then like July is also so dead. Like late June, July is just like a slog. So and then like you were saying before, I rudely interrupted you. Once you get all the camp reports and all, once Will starts talking about Brandon Cooks catching a pass for the Cowboys and being called Pickens, that's when it's back on. Yeah, people are starting to tune in.
Is there any hope for Swift Roshan becoming an alternate reality to Montgomery Gibbs? My immediate response will be that Gibbs is 1,000 times better than DeAndre Swift, and David Montgomery is probably like 140 times better than Roshan Johnson. But I will say you are kind of betting on offensive line improvement, obviously coordinator coaching improvements. So I think there's Swift is a fine bet. I don't know if I would bank on Roshan being any more than kind of like a AJ Dillon plotter. You're hoping he has the goal line role if you're kind of betting on that. But I will say, like, if the only other competition is like 7th round Kyle Monangai, which I like Kyle Monangai, but 7th round running back hit rates, I think it's fine to make those cheap bets.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree exactly with what you said.
When Jeremy agrees with exactly what I said, it's time. It's time to close out the stream. Appreciate you all. Thank you guys for watching. Much love. First Dynasty stream or video I've watched since baby steps. Thanks, boys. We'll be back on regular now. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. And if you're not in the Discord,
thank you.
Be down
Curtis.
There. We'll be active in there, answering questions. People will post their startup queues, trade offers. Thank you guys. Appreciate you all. Much love, much love. And we'll see you Thursday night.
Best ball stream.
Episode 6, the Baker episode. Got to do something special for the Baker episode. For 9, maybe I got a Burrow jersey. Maybe I'll wear the Burrow jersey for episode 9. Something to look forward to.
Most famous number 9 quarterback is Bryce Young. What are you talking about?
Nah, it's Matt Stafford actually, but I don't have a Stafford Lions jersey. And if you're not already signed up, we'll probably do like an @everyone post or something in the Discord soon. But definitely join the Discord if you're not in there already, and join the Daddy Leagues. $20 buy-in each year. 12x10 Superflex, 0.7510 in premium. We're slow drafts. We're going to be starting those early in August. Quick Google form. sign up if you guys want to get in there. And oh, that's the Discord. Definitely join that. W stream Carson Palmer. There we
Getting
go.
distracted over there. Carson Palmer. I don't know what year this is.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Appreciate you all. Much love. We will see you Thursday night and then Tuesday night.
Thursday night.
And in between.
Tuesday night.
In the Discord. Much love. Peace.